We'll find out. Thanks for watching. Have a good afternoon.
Game day at Notre Dame, one of the enduring pageants in American sports. The beautiful campus provides the backdrop, the fans supply the energy in their school colors, and the band, like Pied Piper, leading the way to the stadium. It all takes on extra intensity when the opponent is highly ranked and the Irish are a rare underdog. So inside the stadium today, the air electric as Notre Dame hosts its in-state rival Purdue, unbeaten and ranked 15th in the nation. Notre Dame Stadium sold out for the 176th straight game as the 3-1 Irish meet Purdue, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Notre Dame Stadium. It should be a great contest today between Purdue and Notre Dame, both teams riding 3-game winning streaks. And Pat, Purdue comes in with the best offense in the United States in all of college football, led by quarterback Kyle Orton. If the Heisman voting ended today, he would certainly be the winner.
You want to go on a limb like that? He has played not only well, he has played sensationally. All the things you ask a quarterback to do, he has done. Look at that touchdown to interception ratio. No interceptions, 13 touchdowns, only 1 sack. So he's making good decisions, but he's got a lot of qualities that anybody would want in a big-time quarterback. And, you know, he does so many different things well. I think he makes great decisions. Last week against Illinois, on plays like this, 2 audibles for touchdowns. So he's thinking well and making great decisions. And a guy who completes 70% of his passes. You talk about accurate. He has all kinds of throws, can throw the ball deep, short, gets the ball out in front of the receivers so they run after the catch. The thing I like most about him, Tom, is he just manages the game well. You know, he knows when to throw the ball downfield, knows when to tuck it and run, and that's why they've been so efficient, and they've had some incredibly gaudy numbers on offense this year. You know, no one scores more points in the NCAA than they. 49 points a game. You see their passing yards. How would you like to try to stop them down 562 yards a game? They start throwing the ball, he gets hot, and they continue to throw the ball.
Well, the Notre Dame coaches looked at those numbers, and they said they were just astounding. They said you couldn't even get those kind of numbers in a practice, much less in a game. But wait just a minute now. In their 3 games so far, the Boilermakers have not faced a good defense like this Notre Dame defense, and opportunistic defense.
Yeah, that is the word, opportunistic, because they have really led. And while the offense is beginning to grow, the defense has led this team with plays like this. Tom Zbikowski has led this team on defense in turnovers, 16 on the year, leading to almost half of their points scored directly. And Dwight Ellick, who you see on the right of the screen, he has been sensational the last 2 weeks. 11 turnovers. He's forced 2 of those turnovers. And as you look at Mike Goolsby, allowing less than 3 yards per game. So they have really done everything well defensively, Tom. Remember, this is their first test, too. They have not faced a veteran quarterback. They faced 7 different quarterbacks, many of them freshmen, in their first 4 games. So they get their first true test today.
An intriguing matchup between 2 old rivals, and obviously a huge game for both teams. As the Irish a moment ago made their way onto the field here at Notre Dame Stadium, all the tradition and color of Notre Dame football back for the opening kickoff after this from your local NBC station. Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Lewis Johnson again at Notre Dame Stadium with not a cloud in the sky today, and the temperature a brisk 55 degrees, the wind 14 miles an hour from the northwest. Ty Willingham is Irish after losing their opening game, have won 3 in a row. And, of course, Purdue comes in with a gaudy 3-0 record. They're coached by Joe Tiller, who's on the sideline now with Lewis.
All right, Tom, thanks so much. Well, Coach, the nation knows how phenomenal your quarterback, Kyle Orton, has been. 13 passing touchdowns. But talk about the specific challenge you face today, a Notre Dame defense that's given up only 2 touchdowns in 13 quarters.
Well, we're concerned about protecting Kyle Orton. The pressure that they can bring is really something with their front 7.
1974 was the last Purdue win in the stadium. You beat them at home last year, but why is it so difficult to beat Notre Dame here in Notre Dame Stadium?
I wasn't born in 74. No, this is a great environment. Every college football team should have an opportunity to play in this environment. It's a great challenge to win here, one we look forward to.
And good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All righty. Tom?
All right, Lewis, and as Lewis mentioned, it's been a long time since Purdue was able to win. 1974, that is 13 straight losses here at Notre Dame Stadium, and Notre Dame with the lead overall in this long series. Notre Dame won the toss, deferred to the second half, so set to kick off is Carl Gioia with Brooks and Void deep for Purdue. It's a short kick. It'll be Brooks right by the sideline from the 5-yard line. Brooks up the center, good return, then hit hard and dropped at about the 23-yard line. Let's look at our starting lineups now, brought to you by Adidas. And the high-flying Purdue quarterback is Kyle Orton. Look at that. 13 touchdown passes without an interception. First in the nation in passing touchdowns, second in efficiency and total offense.
Yeah, and only 1 sack, which tells you the offensive line is playing well, and he makes great decisions, as we've talked about.
There is that offensive line that's done such an excellent job of protecting Purdue, which does not have a turnover of any kind this season. 3 wide receivers and the spread offense of Joe Tiller. Stubblefield is the man to watch. Closing in on the all-time Big Ten receiving record. From the shotgun, first down pitch by Orton is complete to Kyle Ingram. Ingram, the 6'9" receiver, one of the tallest in all of college football, stopped by Mike Goolsby. The Adidas starting lineups for the Irish: Tuck, Pauly, Landry, and Budenzack, hoping to put pressure on Orton today. The linebackers, Hoyt, Goolsby, and Curry. Goolsby, the leading tackler, with 38 on the season so far. And the secondary will get a test today: Burrell, Zbikowski, Ellick, and Jackson.
I think they have a better chance of tipping some balls than actually sacking Kyle Orton.
Second down and 2. Again from the gun, Orton, another quick toss to the outside, and again it's Kyle Ingram on the receiving end. 2 straight receptions by Ingram and 2 straight completions for a first down for Purdue.
Look at this, Tom. This efficient offense of Joe Tiller at 0 turnovers. We mentioned the 1 sack. I think 9.5 yards per pass attempt. You know, sometimes you see that per completion. So almost every time they throw the ball, they pick up a first down. And then on third down, they've been terrific. And the reason for that is they play very good first down offense and a lot of third and shorts.
Orton completes his 3rd straight. This one to Bryant, and Bryant with a long gain close to the 40-yard line before Quentin Burrell chases him down for the Irish. Bryant, a gain of 21 on the pass from Orton, who begins 3 for 3.
Yeah, Dorian Bryant is a true freshman, and the coaches said to us this week in West Lafayette when we visited on Thursday, we've got to get some plays where he gets the hands on the ball and they can run after the catch. He got a good block from the tight end Charles Davis, and he is their fastest receiver.
From Swedesboro, New Jersey, as Pat said, a true freshman with his 8th catch of the season. 4 wides, empty backfield with Orton in the shotgun.
These are all quick throws.
Crossing route, Ingram again. The big target at 6'9", taken down by Mike Goolsby after a gain of about 6 yards.
You know, one of the things for Purdue to establish this year is that second receiver. You've seen Kyle Ingram catch 3 passes already in the first drive. Taylor Stubblefield, number 21, is their leading receiver. He's had a great year with 21 catches and 8 touchdowns. That man, number 21. So they have to find a number 2, and right now Kyle Ingram's off to a very good start.
Orton switching formations here. And now backing up. He was under center, now backs up in the shotgun. He hasn't missed a pass yet. And there's contact. Game upcoming. The referee today is Dick Honig of the Big Ten. Offside against Notre Dame. Dick retiring after this season after 22 years in the Big Ten and 31 years calling Division I
Offside.
football.
How many offside penalties do you think he's called in 31 years?
More than he'd like, I'm sure. More than the fans would like. And Honig, of course, will be calling his last game here at Notre Dame Stadium, retiring after this season.
You know, Kyle Orton is really a fun guy to watch. I mean, they get out of the huddle so quickly with lots of time left on the clock. There's 21 seconds left on the play clock. To say audible is an awful lot.
First running play to Void. Gerard Void with a short gain on the play. Tackle made by Kyle Budenzack.
You know, the thing that you notice when you watch Kyle Orton and this Purdue team, they get the plays in and out very quickly. There's plenty of time when he's at the line of scrimmage. You never see, you know, too much time in the huddle kind of penalties. And it allows him to call, you know, many audibles successfully. They call about 30% of the plays end up being audibles.
And a lot of protection he changes at the line, too, when he's adjusting things. In the shotgun with 4 wide receivers.
All press coverage this time.
And the pass complete. Now can you make the tackle? No, not until a first down is picked up on the play by Ray Williams. 11-yard gain, and Orton still has not missed a pass.
Yeah, easy pickings for Kyle Orton. Actually, Williams was the only receiver that did not have press coverage. Orton just drops back down. The field is 53 yards wide, okay? And that receiver, Williams, was as far away from him as you could possibly get. Look how wide these guys are, and they create all kinds of problems. And he's got the arm strength to get the ball all the way out to the sideline. Most quarterbacks can't do that.
Purdue threatening, and they've been very potent in the first quarter all season long. This looks like a free play. It's a run by Boyd, and Notre Dame might have been offside again. You talk about managing the game. Well, Orton already has drawn Notre Dame offside once. Perhaps this will be another one. So we'll check the call from Dick Honig.
This is a
It is against Notre Dame again, and Orton obviously drawing them offside with his cadence.
Yeah, you're right. But let's look at this, empty backfield formation. You see one receiver, 2, 3, 4, and there's one up here. So they have 5 receivers, no protectors. And it just kind of forces, I think, the defense to, play their hand early. You can't adjust and blitz as quickly or as much in this kind of formation. And it really forces a defense to declare much earlier than they ordinarily would.
Look at this, 8 of 9 first quarter drives. They have scored. The only one they didn't score on, they missed a field goal. So they have threatened on every drive this season in the first quarter. Orton, chase, tuck, hit him as he delivered the pass.
But again, heads up play, right? Avoids the sack. Good coverage, avoids the sack. 2nd and 10. Justin Tuck, whether even if it's a 3-step drop or a 5-step drop, you have got to prepare for the 4 or 5 different rushes that Justin Tuck can do. You see, they double teamed him. That's a very good idea, by the way. Sometimes you'll have a tight end kind of chipping him. Sometimes you'll have a back chipping him. But you're generally going to have 2 guys on Justin Tuck.
Tuck had a couple of sacks of Orton at Ross-Ade Stadium in a losing cause at Purdue last year. 2nd down and 5. Orton standing in the pocket, whips it too high over the head of Stubblefield. And it'll bring up a rare 3rd down on this drive for the Boilermakers. It'll be 3rd down and 5. They've been so efficient 1st and 2nd down, they rarely get into a 3rd and long.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things they talked about is getting the ball to Taylor Stubblefield, number 21, their slot receiver, who's caught 8 touchdown passes this season so far.
First 3rd down on this drive. They have converted 64% on the season. 5 wide receivers.
Here's Stubblefield here.
Orton steps up, runs, and is hit hard and dropped by Derek Curry just inside the 15-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th down for the Boilermakers as the Purdue defense back on its heels during the opening plays of the drive finally rallies under the direction of Kent Bayer and brings up the 4th down and one would assume a field goal attempt.
A good opening drive for the Boilermakers, but Notre Dame on those, they forced a throwaway to get him in 2nd and long, and then again good pressure there by Derek Landry and Greg Pauly.
Ben Jones, the senior from Zionsville, Indiana, is 3 of 4 from field goal range. This one 31 yards, and it is good. So another successful opening drive for the Boilermakers, but only 3 points as they drive all the way down the field after the opening kickoff to take a 3-0 lead. Notre Dame will have its first possession when we return to Notre Dame Stadium. Beautiful campus of the University of Notre Dame, and over on the sideline, Kyle Orton, after directing the Boilermakers to a go-ahead field goal. And now the Purdue kickoff. Aaron Levin in his 5th year at Purdue from Casper, Wyoming. That's Joe Tiller country. Joe Tiller has a home in Buffalo, Wyoming.
Population 5,000.
Right. Holiday and Anastasio deep for the Irish. Anastasio. Could hear the hits up here as he made it down to the 23-yard line. And Brady Quinn comes out to lead the Irish attack for the first time, hitting about 52% of his passes and closing in on 1,000 yards, 8 TDs, 5 interceptions. Our Adidas starting lineups for Notre Dame. The offensive line making steady progress as the season has evolved. Harris, Morton, Sullivan, Stevenson, and LaVore. Powers Neal, the fullback. Darius Walker, the freshman, gets the start. Ryan Grant still banged up. Shelton starts for Stovall, who's out. And McKnight and Fasano. First pass to McKnight as Brady Quinn comes out winging and throws one for 12 yards and a first down. Brian Hickman with the stop for Purdue. Need the starting lineups for the Boilers. Up front, they'll have Spencer, Villarreal, Grover, and Edwards. Linebackers Kegler, Hall, who is their leading tackler, and Iwichiku, with Smith, Pollard, Rogers, and Hickman in the secondary.
8 new defensive starters this year for Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator.
First running play, a pitch to Walker, nowhere to go as Purdue strings it out up front. And Walker does well to get 3 or 4 yards before Bernard Pollard knocks him out of bounds. So Purdue has been so efficient on first down, and it's also an indicator of success for the Irish.
Yeah, you know, when they get off to a good start, you know, as they have in those 8 wins, they have their full complement of plays. Where they've gotten themselves in trouble is getting behind very early, as they did last year against Purdue. And then they're forced to be a one-dimensional throwing team. They want balance, and when they play well in the first quarter, they're able to have the full game plan and have the balance they want.
Second down and 6. Brady Quinn. Good protection, but the pass tipped and incomplete. Pass was tipped by Brent Grover. Grover, the senior from Fort Thomas, Kentucky. Highlands High School, a perennial power in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Getting those hands up. Again, these quick throwing offenses here. He's right here. Got his right hand up. Being blocked by Bob Orton. Just good timing, you know, good vision. You talk about good vision sometimes of running backs. I think these, you know, rushing interior linemen have to have good vision to be able to tip the ball.
Only 30% conversions for the Irish. They've got a 3rd and 6 right here. 4 wide receiver formation. Brady Quinn across the middle, caught, and fighting his way for a first down is Anthony Fasano. Fasano has emerged as one of the better tight ends in college football, both as a blocker and receiver.
And you know what? I think he has to be early in the season, certainly in offense, probably their most valuable player, because he's done a great job, as you've seen in the last couple of weeks. Fasano protecting and allow Brady Quinn to get a couple of touchdown passes off. See the big target? He is right in front of the quarterback. You know, big window there opens up for Brady Quinn to see his tight end. He caught it about a yard short, but then kind of carried a defender for the first down.
Yeah, Pollard and Kegler couldn't get him down before he picked up first down yardage. Here's Walker up the middle. Broke a tackle, made it to midfield.
He almost got stripped that time. Darius Walker, we've talked about the adjustment freshman running backs have, and the biggest thing I think is, you know, being able to secure the ball. He has not fumbled the ball in over 80 carries this year.
He may not be happy to hear you attempting to jinx him with that comment.
I wasn't attempting to jinx him. That's not an attempt to jinx. I'll let you know when I'm attempting to jinx. That's not what. I've been impressed the way he's kind of secured the ball.
He picked up 4 yards. The ball squarely on the midfield stripe. And a second down and 6. Walker out. Marcus Wilson is in. He's a tailback behind Powers Neal. Quinn. Sack back at the 45-yard line. Held the ball a little too long. The protection pretty good at first, but he held it a little too long. The coverage good in the secondary. And Anthony Spencer picks up the sack. His 3rd and a half of the season. That leads Purdue.
Yeah, and you know what? Anthony Spencer's made 2 nice plays. He's back here. 2 nice plays on this drive. One clearly the sack here, but just a moment ago, he chased down Darius Walker to save a big run.
Brock Spack is the defensive coordinator, former Purdue linebacker. Did you think Quinn might have held the ball a little too long?
Absolutely, but yeah, I think it was good coverage. I mean, don't force it. You know, he's thrown some interceptions, and just hang on.
3rd and 10. Blitz comes. Quinn has a man wide open in the center of the field. Fasano, the tight end, gets a block downfield and is finally taken out of bounds by George Hall, hustling downfield to get him out inside the 15 of Purdue. A gain of 39 yards.
I tell you, nothing easier for a quarterback, or more friendly for a quarterback, is to have a big old tight end who can run after the catch, as he did right here. Watch how he settles down the middle. Again, gets the hand up. He settled down before. This one was on the move. Good ball placement that time by Brady Quinn. A nice little nifty move by the 256-pound tight end, Anthony Fasano.
And Samardzija downfield with a block. First down at the 12-yard line of Purdue. Marcus Wilson driving his way to the 10-yard line. 3-yard gain. George Hall again gets a piece of the tackle. Got some help from Spencer and others.
You know, good offensive football teams, which the Irish are trying to grow into, can beat you multiple ways. But every good offensive team that I'm aware of can run the ball when they have to. And the Irish have run the ball well, particularly with that man over the last 3 weeks. And when you do that, boy, it makes the play action work so well. Brady Quinn had 3 play action pass touchdowns last week. Everything seems to work a little bit better.
2nd down and 8. Walker back in at tailback. Powers Neal remains at fullback. Fake play action, and the pass deflected and incomplete.
Yeah,
Spencer.
Yeah, it's a 3rd play. He had a sack, a deflection, and a chase down. So great opening series for Anthony Spencer. Played well last week against Illinois, too.
Junior from Fort Wayne.
Right here, number 49 in the middle of the screen.
He's way up there.
Yeah, you know, and 2 things have to happen. The tackle has to get his hands down, number 1, or Brady Quinn has to throw the ball around him, has to adjust his release to get the ball around the on-rushing defensive lineman.
3rd down and 8. 4 wides. Quinn swings it to Walker. Walker taken down short of the 1st down by Antoine Rogers, the cornerback, who missed the first 2 games with a right hamstring injury and is welcomed back now to the Purdue secondary, the veteran 5th-year senior from Middletown, Ohio.
You know, Brady Quinn could have just held it a little bit longer. He had a receiver open in the back of the end zone, but I think he was worried about the backside pressure, got sacked earlier by Anthony Spencer, threw that one a little bit early because he had a guy open late.
See the numbers on DJ Fitzpatrick. This one from 26 yards. And Fitzpatrick boots it through. So like the Boilermakers, the Irish march down the field and settle for a field goal. 1 possession each side, 1 field goal each side. The first quarter was 6.5 minutes left, tied at 3. Purdue and Notre Dame tied at 3 after 1 possession each. Today's game brought to you by Coca-Cola. And the scoring drive engineered by Brady Quinn, who hit 4 of his 6 pass attempts, 11 plays, 69 yards. Fitzpatrick from 26 yards away to tie it at 3 as Brady Quinn gets the headset from Coach Willingham to talk to Bill Diedrich upstairs.
Head coaches don't give up the headsets often. They do not like to give up the headsets.
Begrudgingly do they give those up. And there's Bill Diedrich right on the other end.
Yeah. Again, really able to call a lot more aggressive games the last few weeks as the running game has kind of emerged. They've had some trick plays, unusual plays. Some have worked, some haven't. But a lot more out of the passing game because their running game has been successful.
Carl Joya to kick off for the Irish. Brooks and Boyd, deep men for Purdue. This is Brooks, a yard deep in the end zone. And Brooks with a seam, spins away from 1 man. Has a blocker in front. Brooks down the sideline. Takes it all the way for the touchdown. 101 yards for the score. 101, and Brooks was off to the races. Jerome Brooks.
You know, the coach says he is our most elusive back. He's also one with the most speed. I want you to watch one other thing, though. Number 31, Bernard Pollard. Once he breaks that tackle there, Bernard Pollard, number 3, right here. He doesn't clip anybody. He's not going to throw a block unless he has to at the moment, which he does. But he makes sure he gets in front of the defender. No penalty, and that allowed Brooks to get in the end zone. You know, the Irish on special teams against Purdue over the last 3 years have been exceptionally good, and Purdue returns the favor.
And the extra point by Ben Jones.
You know, watch, good wall here. Good lead block right there. Then he breaks 2 tackles. And then Pollard escorts him in the end zone. So many times you see this lead guy throw an unnecessary block and maybe clip someone. He doesn't take a chance. He outruns the kicker and allows Brooks to get in the end zone.
He breaks the tackle of Ambrose Wooden, who is the Notre Dame number 22, right here.
That's a bad tackle there. Good speed.
Wooden didn't put his arms around him, tried to just knock him down, and Brooks had none of that. And once he got to the outside with Pollard screening the last man that had a shot at him, it was a brilliant 101-yard touchdown return of the kickoff by Jerome Brooks.
And so 2 possessions and 10 points for Purdue. They lead the nation in scoring. You see why. They can do it in a couple different ways.
Kyle Orton didn't even get a chance that time. So 11 will kick it off for the Boilers, and that's Carlisle Holiday, who is deep, along with Anastasio for Notre Dame.
You know, a long kickoff return is one of those demoralizing plays. You know, particularly when you're on the road, you really take the crowd out.
Short kickoff, Anastasio fumbled it. Came right back up to him. He got a lucky bounce that time. Did Chase Anastasio. At NBCSports.com, click on a special section, NBC's Notre Dame Central, for Pat's breakdown on the Irish improved rushing attack and their game plan for today, plus get complete post-game coverage as well. You'll get all the scoop on Irish opponents, all at Notre Dame Central on NBCSports.com.
Jerome Brooks is their 3rd tailback. They, play Gerard Ford, Brandon Jones mostly, but they bring in Jerome Brooks to add a little wiggle. Certainly did there on the return.
It was a lot of wiggle. McKnight. Brady Quinn spots him for a good gain on first down. Pollard and Hickman hit him.
That's going to be there all day. Big cushion that number 33 for Purdue is giving them Brian Hickman. And then, they opened the game with an out play to Raymond McKnight, and they came right back to it. And they're going to force Brian Hickman to play a little tighter. Plays their field corner, goes to the wide side, and then number 12, Antoine Rogers, plays the short side of the field.
After the first down toss to McKnight, looks like Quinn is changing the play at the line of scrimmage. It's a handoff to Walker. And Darius Walker, only a couple. Villarreal was first to hit him for Purdue after the kickoff return. Put Purdue on top 10-3.
So we've seen 2 good defensive plays by the interior of the Purdue defense. Earlier we saw Brent Grover make one, that time Brendan Villarreal. This is a part of the team, the heart of the inside of the team that Brent Spock was worried about. Thought he was going to have to really substitute in there in the interior of the defensive line, but 2 nice plays by Villarreal and Grover.
Josh Schmidt, his first appearance at fullback. 2nd down. Hand to Walker. And again, Walker unable to get free from the center of that Purdue defense. This time Brent Grover was first to hit him. Looks like Purdue very aware of the cutback ability of Darius Walker as well, not giving him any lanes, any gaps.
We met with Brent Grover this week down in West Lafayette. Interior lineman had his hair was going every which way.
You see it under the helmet there.
Well, he's not cut his hair since his sister's
wedding in January.
His mother made him cut it for that, but it's quite long.
He made that heads-up play against Illinois, recovering a fumble behind the line of scrimmage, a block, not a fumble, but a block punt. And there's a sack of Brady Quinn, the 2nd sack today, this one by Ray Edwards.
Ray Edwards is the guy that the coaching staff has very high hopes for, a guy highly recruited by Tennessee, by Ohio State. He chooses to go to Purdue and has made a big difference. Number 10 on the outside. Pressure up here and then inside as well. Villarreal was there to help him.
So on 4th down, Fitzpatrick to punt for the first time. Taylor Stubblefield deep for Purdue.
It's 2 sacks the first 2 drives.
Fitzpatrick, Stubblefield says stay away from it. And it'll get a good Irish bounce to the 10-yard line. Punt covered 59 yards with no return. Carlos Campbell, the man that downed it for the Irish. But Purdue gets Jerome Brooks tying the all-time Purdue kickoff return record to take a 10-3 lead. Number 22, Jerome Brooks, tying the Purdue record, which has been done 3 times with a 100-yard kickoff return, even though he went 101. In college football, you only get credit for 100 maximum. So the 3rd time Purdue has had a 100-yard kickoff return, and it's put the Boilers up 10-3 on Notre Dame. Purdue takes over now at its own 10-yard line.
decided to press coverage, that this spread offense, trying to take away the quick passes.
And Orton changing things at the line. It's a handoff to Void. Can't get to the corner, now gets a block. And might have been taken for a loss on the play as Victor Abiamiri took advantage of the play being strung out. And Void appears to be injured over on the sideline.
This is a guy that has played so well for them, Gerard Void. Nearly 1,000 yards last year. A great pass protector, too. All the success you talk about Kyle Orton, but Gerard Void has been a great personal pass protector for Kyle Orton.
You mentioned last year he had 952 yards and 13 touchdowns. Notre Dame defended that play well for a loss, and Void down on the sideline.
You know, they don't have many lost plays, too. They're such a good third down team. We convert 64% because they're generally a very good first down team. You don't see that 2nd and 13 very much.
Brandon Jones, 5'11", 226, a junior from Peru, Indiana. He was carried for 150 yards this season. #2 rusher for the Boilers, averaging 4.7 yards a carry. Has replaced Void at running back. Stats on Void. And so now Purdue facing a 2nd down and 13. As you said, Pat, uncharted waters in large measure for the Boilers as they send Brandon Jones now, the running back, to line up as a wide receiver, 1 of 5 in this spread formation.
And now not press coverage. They played off.
And a man wide open in the center is Stubblefield all the way to the 40-yard line. How can a man like Taylor Stubblefield, such an accomplished receiver, get open, wide open for 33 yards?
And just the patience of Kyle Orton. He just kind of sees the field better than most guys that you're going to see. Right down in here is a slot right down the middle. And, you know, good protection up here in front. Because remember, this is an empty backfield. There's just 5 offensive linemen. Right down the gut goes Taylor Stubblefield. Generally, they're going to have what they call bracket coverage inside and outside on Taylor Stubblefield, but he goes right by Preston Jackson.
And Jackson apparently thought he had some help deep that wasn't there. So big first down for the Boilers now. First down at their own 40-yard line. Leading by a touchdown, 3 minutes to go. First quarter. Give it to Jones, and Brandon Jones back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a yard.
You know, one of the other things, or a couple of other things, this spread offense does, Tom, really is it forces you to play nickel and dime defense. And when you do that, by definition, right, you're playing second-team players. If they're your nickel back and your dime back, those guys would generally be starting, but they're not good enough to start. So you have second-team players, and it also takes some of your linebackers out of the game who are great tacklers. So it presents a lot of problems. And again, one more time, empty backfield, 5 wide receivers. They're playing off again.
Orton chased, sacked. Abiamiri.
Only the 2nd sack of the season. You don't see too many sacks on 3-step drops. And Kyle Orton, good coverage, great coverage. A forced Kyle Orton to kind of step to his right, really right into the sack. But a piercing run or a rush by Victor Abiamiri. Good inside
right through the would-be blockers, didn't it?
They call that a rock defense, where they just kind of really charge down inside in gaps.
So now, 3rd down and 17. Only the 2nd sack of the season.
And Kyle Orton knows with a 3-man rush, he should have plenty of time to throw this ball.
And he spots his man Williams. This time a sure tackle, though, from Preston Jackson and Williams. And Jackson now mixing it up a little bit.
And Tom, that's a 3rd and 15. And I don't think, at least the 2 games that I have seen, I have not seen Purdue in 3rd and 15 yet. They're a 3rd and 2 and a 3rd and 4 type of team because they're generally so good on first down. So good defensive series for the Irish.
Preston Jackson celebrates a stop. He made a good open field tackle that time on Ray Williams. And the first punt for Dave Brightus, the freshman from McDonald, Pennsylvania. Brightus had 1 block against Illinois that Grover returned for a first down. That was the recovery we were talking about a moment ago. Brightus gets a pretty decent bounce. It's down to about the 27-yard line, a punt of 35 yards, some of it on the bounce. Hickman downed it for the Boilers, who will go on defense now with less than a minute remaining in the first quarter. A first quarter that finds Purdue leading Notre Dame by 7, 10-3. Back at Notre Dame football, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Brady Quinn and the Irish trailing 10-3 to 15th-ranked Purdue. And last year against Purdue at West Lafayette, Brady Quinn got his first career start but took a beating. Completed 29 of 59 passes with a touchdown and 4 interceptions. His 29 completions in 59 attempts, the most by a Notre Dame quarterback since 1997. The most yards a Notre Dame freshman has thrown for in his debut since 1951. But bittersweet on those records as they took a pounding from the Boilermakers.
But you see, he threw 59 passes. You're just not going to win when you do that. Actually, the tipping point for him is if he throws 30 passes or less, they have a very good, it correlates with their success. When he throws more than 30, they lose most of those games.
First down, fake to Walker. Quinn rolls and delivers. It's caught by Fasano. Here's Fasano again, lowering his head and pulling his way down to the 45-yard line. Another big game for Anthony Fasano. It covered 26 yards.
Say, one thing, if I'm Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator for Purdue, I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult for Anthony Fasano to get off the line of scrimmage because he's coming off way too cleanly. Another good play action or boot fake that time by Brady Quinn. He threw 2 of those for touchdowns last week to Fasano.
And Fasano lowered his head and knocked Brian Hickman backwards.
There's Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator.
So first down Irish, 46 of Purdue. Marcus Freeman in motion. Give to Walker. Darius Walker breaks free for a moment and then is taken down for good by Kyle Smith, the former quarterback, now a safety for Purdue.
Well, Brady Quinn is 6 of 8 here in the first quarter. Off to a good, efficient start.
First quarter winding down, by the way, as we tick off the final seconds. And that'll do it.
Nice first quarter, huh?
Yeah, good first quarter at Notre Dame Stadium. The difference right now is the touchdown return of 100 yards by Jerome Brooks. Brooks has given Purdue the lead at the end of the first quarter. Boilermakers 10 and the Irish 3. Start the second quarter with Purdue leading Notre Dame 10-3. And this Monday on NBC, don't miss a special all-female edition of Fear Factor as the ladies take a stop at the Roadkill Cafe. Fear Factor Monday, 7 Central on NBC.
Wow. You've seen those things on the shows.
Did we stop there the other day?
I think we have. We're way down in West Lafayette.
First play of the second quarter. Notre Dame facing a 2nd down and 7 from the 43-yard line of Purdue. Brady Quinn. Plenty of time. Pass complete. Caught for the tight end Freeman. And Freeman knocked out of bounds by Bernard Pollard. The big fellow, though, covered 17 yards and a Notre Dame first down.
Boy, that's terrific pass protection when Purdue had a blitz on.
First quarter stats, Pat.
Rushing yards -9 for Purdue. Wow. Say what Notre Dame has done particularly well is throw the ball to their tight ends. That's the 4th catch by a tight end today.
3 by Fasano and 1 by Freeman now. First down at the 27. Quinn changes the play.
He sees maybe a big cushion up here.
That's where he's looking. Pass knocked down.
He caught a second pass.
Edwards deflecting the ball. And Brady Quinn
gets his 2nd catch of the year, Ed.
He doesn't want to be like Carlisle, switch to receiver, though, I don't think.
No. Again, this is, I tell you, these defensive ends for Purdue. That time, Ray Edwards, who's had a sack already and a tip ball. Anthony Spencer had a sack and a tip ball also. So both defensive ends for Purdue off to a good start.
Quick hands by Quinn. Got back to the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd down and 10.
Two to himself, yeah.
Walker powers Neal with a block, and Walker stopped for a loss on the play. Once again, Purdue unwilling to let him turn the corner. Bobby Iwichukwu with the tackle.
And, you know, Purdue doing a good job on the run, stopping the run, forcing the pass. And this is a key thing for the Irish. You see Brady Quinn, when he throws it 30 or less 6 times, anytime you get over that 30 passes attempt in a game, you know, 1 in 6. So they want to be able to run the football, and Purdue has done a pretty good job of stuffing it.
3rd down and 10. Purdue shows blitz, right. Here they come, and Quinn got rid of it, incomplete. Trying for Fasano. Kyle Smith is the man that, as the Boilermakers brought everybody.
And, you know, Bill Dietrich said to us yesterday, though, he said, we think we can read that blitz. We think Purdue shows the blitz early if we can get the audible, which they had, and they get good pass protection by a back primarily. They thought they could have some big plays, but too much of a rush that time by the Boilermakers.
And they had the freshman Darius Walker in there, who has been struggling at times with pass coverage. So on 4th down, Fitzpatrick, pass protection, I should say.
Gotcha.
Fitzpatrick, 44 yards.
It might have been tipped.
Yeah, it must have been tipped. It's way off the mark, way wide to the left, and it looks like the tip.
Yeah. I don't know if it was a Wichiku. He's tipped a bunch of. He's blocked 5 kicks in his career. Somebody, I think, tipped that ball, but he has blocked 5 kicks, 4 field goals, and 1 extra point in his career. Have a look.
See if it is.
He's 39 in the middle of the screen.
He just really gets up, and there it is. Iwichukwu really has the elevation to get the blocks. He got part of that one. Meanwhile, the blitz comes on Brady Quinn, enabling Purdue to hold on this 3rd down play. And then the field goal partially blocked. So it remains Purdue 10 and Notre Dame 3. With our producer David Gibson, director John Gonzalez, Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Lewis Johnson, Notre Dame Stadium. Brisk, cloudless afternoon, and 2 top teams matched up. Purdue with a 10-3 lead on the Irish. They take over the ball 1st and 10 at their own 27 after the missed Notre Dame field goal, partially blocked. Kyle Orton down the sideline, broken up at the last minute by Dwight Ellick covering Taylor Stubblefield.
Hey, Tom, let's go back to the blitz a while ago. I want you to pay attention. You might learn something, okay?
No doubt.
But they thought they could have some the Irish thought they could have some real big plays in the blitz game. And Brady Quinn sees the blitz there early, gets the audible covered, but they just can't protect against Kyle Smith, who comes in cleanly to force an errant throw. Otherwise, he has his tight end open for a touchdown.
6 defensive backs on this play now for Notre Dame. As Purdue has a 2nd and 10, 4 wide receivers. Brandon Jones in the backfield with Kyle Orton. Notre Dame shows blitz. Jackson comes off the corner. They pick him up. Orton chased from the pocket. The pass. Did Williams get his hands under it? Let's see.
I think he did.
It is a catch for Ray Williams.
Now Ray Williams is a starting wide receiver on a team that throws the ball almost every down. Came into the game with only 3 catches, and Kyle Orton said to us this week, this is a guy that's going to have to step up, catch maybe 5 or 6 passes today if we're going to beat a very good Notre Dame defense.
So Williams makes a nice catch, and Purdue picked up the blitz to enable Orton to step up and deliver the ball. It's a 1st down for the Boilermakers. Orton has hit 8 of his first 11 passes for 101 yards, the Heisman candidate. 1st down pass here, and he's going deep down the sideline, and it is caught. Brian Hare with his 5th catch of the season over Dwight Ellick, and Ellick was playing the ball, and the ball from Orton went over Ellick for 36 yards.
Talk about great arm strength. It looked like Kyle Orton threw this thing, you know, leaning back. What a perfect name for a guy who runs this fast down the field, Brian Hare. And, you know, Ellick looked like he was trying to fight the pass. And then just a great leap there by Brian Hare. Catches his 5th or 6th catch of the season.
He couldn't, Ellick, the ball was just out of his reach, as if Orton put it exactly in that spot from 40, 50 yards away.
Well, this is a guy who completes 70% of his passes, short or long.
No pressure, and finally chased from the pocket. He's going to run. Goolsby has him.
You know, you don't fake a linebacker like Mike Goolsby out like that. You know, one of those little schoolyard things. Hey, you know, you hope he's going to jump up. Kyle Orton kind of gave him that little, hey, Mike stayed right on his feet. Mike Goolsby has been a terrific tackler, led this team with tackles. He's got an emotional leader, and the coaches were saying he has this theme of one more round. Right. Just one more round, guys.
Get up off the canvas and fight one more round. He had the team and himself in tears when he gave that speech in preseason training camp. 2nd down and 5. Blitz. Orton. Pass incomplete as the Irish put the pressure on. Greg Pauly got through as we go down to Lewis.
All right, Tom, thanks a lot to Gerard Boyd, the running back for Purdue. I saw him come off the field earlier, and he was focusing on that left shoulder and arm. Trainers evaluated him. They checked his range of motion, and then they put this brace on Boyd to restrict it and control how far his left arm can go up, down, or to the side. Purdue's policy is not to release specific injury information, so I don't have more than that, and we'll have to see if he comes back into play. Tom?
All right, Lewis, here's a key 3rd and 5 from the Irish 22-yard line.
And here's the audible.
Audible from Kyle Orton. Play clock at 2. Just got it off. Orton going for the end zone. Incomplete over the head of Stubblefield. He was defended by Dwight Ellick.
The Irish have done a good job against Stubblefield, a guy who came in with 21 catches, 8 touchdowns, only 1 reception thus far for number 21, Taylor Stubblefield. And this empty backfield. Kent Beer, the defensive coordinator, said to us yesterday, we're going to play this 5 different ways. This was, bump and run, in their face press, man for man. They played some zone and some zone blitz against it as well.
4th down, and Jones to attempt his 2nd field goal, this one from 39 yards. And a timeout taken. Notre Dame having trouble getting the proper personnel on the field, has to spend a timeout. Stubblefield has been held in check by the Irish today. Purdue moving the ball down the field, but again settling for a field goal attempt when we come back to Notre Dame Stadium. 11:29 left to play, 2nd quarter. Purdue hoping to add to a 10-3 lead. Welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium. Today's game brought to you by Coca-Cola. Shows Purdue leading 10-3, and the Boilers lined up for a 40-yard field goal attempt by Ben Jones, who hit his first. Kyle Smith, the safety. Forward quarterback is the holder. Jones boots it up and boots it through.
Well, 5 the last 2 years for him against Notre Dame.
So Ben Jones makes the Purdue lead 10 as the Boilermakers go up 13-3.
So, when you're playing against the #1 offense in the country, though, forcing field goal attempts is probably a pretty good thing. So a good defensive series by the Irish.
Of course, the defense of the Irish has been symbolized so far this season by the chain, bringing the chain onto the field. And this means that all the links bring unity. Derek Curry is the man that
keeper of the chain.
Charge of the chain. Here it is earlier today, bringing it into the stadium, into the locker room, and then out onto the playing field itself. Derek Curry. And the chain means that everyone is a link in that chain, and all together they're much stronger than each link individually.
The interesting thing, though, is they're actually every defensive player has a link in that chain, and they put it together Friday night before the game in their hotel as they're preparing for the next day's game. Everybody puts the chain links together, and it comes out like that on Saturdays with Derek Curry.
Aaron Levin, the kickoff. Holiday and Anastasio. This will be Anastasio. Lets it bounce into the end zone. We'll down it there. Touchback. And the Irish will operate from the 20-yard line.
Well, Tom, there's so much to do the night before the game. And remember Kent Bear saying to us yesterday all the things that they try to get accomplished the night before. And he only has 30 minutes really of film, but that's film night. They just look at Purdue's top 37 plays first. Then they watch the first 20 plays at the Syracuse game. Watched last year's playoff or bowl game against UGA, Georgia, to get that no back look. And then they join the links of the chain. The last thing they do before they go to bed.
If that sounds like a lot, it's actually less than some teams do on a Friday night.
It's only 30 minutes, actually.
Walker. Darius Walker's been held in check today. Got about 3 yards as we send it down to Lewis.
All right, Tom, just to continue the story about the chain, you know, most of the links start off looking like this, are actually gold, just like the golden domes of the helmets here of the players from Notre Dame. And after they link them all up, obviously they have the chain, but there's one man that has the link in his pocket, and that's Ty Willingham. He carries it with him throughout the game as his part of the link to the defense. Tom?
All right, Lewis. 2nd down and 7 for the Irish. Quinn. Underneath the coverage, it's caught by Powers Neal, the fullback, short of the 1st down.
The Irish have only rushed for 9 yards on 10 attempts this game, Tom. And I think what's been characteristic of their 3-game win streak, you know, they've been, you know, at the 150 yards or more rushing mark in those 3 wins. And that guy has averaged almost 100 yards in those 3 wins. 7 carries, 18 yards today for Walker.
Meanwhile, Quinn is 9 of 12, 122 yards. Orton 9 of 14, 137. Quinn appears to be changing the play. 3rd down and a yard. Powers Neal hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Short of the 1st down. The big hit up front from Purdue. Wow, you could hear it all through the stadium. And Joe Tiller applauds the stand by his defense on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, inside, right here, one of the inside linebackers, I think that was George Hall, the middle linebacker, kind of
Wichiku, one of them.
Yeah, just kind of cleaned it up, and you know they were worried about the interior of their defense, but they played very well here in this 1st half.
Forcing a punt here by Fitzpatrick. There's a penalty marker now. If that is offside against Purdue, it's going to give Notre Dame a 1st down.
Boy, that's a stupid penalty for this. Can't do that on 4th down. Can't do that. Great defensive series wasted.
Offside. Offside.
Well, we lost Dick Honig's mic. Didn't hear the offender.
You know, you could have called it on 4 guys.
Probably because he didn't have enough time to give them all.
Well, maybe they're going for a punt block, but in any case, you know, watch the ball. It's simple as watching the ball.
First penalty against the Boilermakers, a costly one, as it gives Notre Dame a 1st down. Walker back in at tailback. Play fake to him. Quinn still has it, and all day to throw. Going deep for Shelton. Shelton turned around by the pass, was being covered by Brian Hickman.
It's generally Matt Shelton. Well, I guess he's no longer a secret. You know, he's caught so many deep balls over the last few weeks.
Who was right with him.
Exactly. But he's caught, you know, 7 passes over the last 2 weeks for almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 30 yards a catch. So when he comes in, they generally send Matt Shelton deep. And he's made some great adjustments the last couple of weeks on deep balls like that for catches and touchdowns.
Good fake by Quinn. It gave him time to throw that deep, but really Shelton was well covered by Hickman, and the pass a little too long. Short drop this time, and a drill caught by McKnight. Nice catch by Raymond McKnight, as Brady Quinn put a little steam on that one, high and hard, but McKnight hangs on.
You see the way Raymond McKnight kind of turns into Brady Quinn. He just kind of presents a big, you know, throwing surface, a big target for him as he comes right in here, but gets his shoulders turned. You know, he's 6'1", 215 pounds, so he is a big target. And that was a, you know, well-thrown ball and a good catch by McKnight.
Brady Quinn hitting at a 71% pace so far.
And Orton's over 70% too.
But only the offenses have produced nothing but field goals. Here's Walker cutting back. And just when it appeared he had a seam, he was caught by Brent Grover around the shoe tops. Grover saved a big gain that time.
The man with the long curly hair was telling us this week that he had actually changed helmet sizes from large to extra large, but strong right hand. Watch him get his right hand in there.
Almost stripped the ball.
Yeah, right hand, and then the right hand high, left hand low. Good play by Brent Grover.
The former Bluebird, Fort Thomas Highlands.
Yeah, I thought you might bring that up. An applied mathematics major. Pretty good student. They weren't your rival, were they, in high school?
Beat us for the state championship once. Fake to Walker. Quinn sacked at the 40-yard line by Anthony Spencer. Spencer not fooled by the play-action fake and gets the 3rd sack by the Boilermakers today, the 2nd for Anthony Spencer.
Yeah, he's got 2, and the other end, Ray Edwards, has the 3rd. I mean, good coaching by Brock Spack, because the Irish do a lot of this bootleg. But I tell you, he just stayed right at home, didn't go for the fake, so he was well coached, stayed there, was able to make the play on Quinn and force a 3rd and very long.
Dangerous down here now for Brady Quinn. 3rd down and 16. The ball all the way back at the Irish 42. 3rd sack for the defense of Brock Spack.
Same blitz look, but they come out of it this time.
Backed out of the blitz.
Yep.
Quinn with time. Pass high. Caught by Fasano for a 1st down. 2 things about that play, Pat. Sparkling catch by Fasano, but he knew how much he needed for the 1st down.
Yeah, you want a luxury when you have a 3rd and 16 and can get the ball to the tight end. But I'm still amazed that he's not being jammed at the line of scrimmage.
This is an 18-yard gain.
I mean, Fasano just gets an absolutely clean release. You know, if you just get your hands on him, you kind of at least slow him down from getting downfield that quickly.
Could have gotten 5 more yards or so had the pass been a little lower, but as it was, a key 3rd down conversion. Here's Quinn across the middle, caught again by Fasano, and he's down to the 15-yard line. Kyle Smith tripped him up, but Anthony Fasano, the go-to man today for the Irish.
Just amazing. Fasano is at 4 catches for 94 yards now, actually 5 for 119. Great protection by Dan Stevenson, Mark Lavore. No one even close to Brady Quinn, and just a drill shot to a wide open tight end. And once again, a clean, free release by Anthony Fasano. Usually there's a linebacker that lines up right over him and at least needs to jam him some.
Tight end to the left side of the formation is Fasano. And a flag. Looks like a false start by one of the Irish.
Right of snap, false start, number 87 on Notre Dame. 5 yards, remains 1st down.
Marcus Freeman cost the Irish 5 yards. Put it back at the 20-yard line now. And 1st down and 15. That's the 3rd penalty against Notre Dame.
6 catches by tight ends for Notre Dame for over 130 yards today.
Remember, this Irish drive kept alive by a Purdue penalty, which on a punting situation gave Notre Dame a 1st down.
Notre Dame's only rushed for 3 yards now, Tom.
Quinn changing the play. It's a handoff to Walker. Hit in the backfield. Walker shakes one man, but then is only able to get 2 or 3 yards. Almost had a loss on the play as the Boilermakers have completely shut off the Irish running game.
It was Ray Edwards off the corner, maybe number 10, one of those defined defensive ends for Purdue.
And then Grover finished him off, I think.
Yeah. Coach Chiller was talking to us this week about Ray Edwards, saying, hey, this guy is going to be a star. And Joe Taylor's not that afraid to say that about his players. This is a guy we out-recruited some big-time schools for him. He's going to be a great player.
Committed to Tennessee. He's from Cincinnati Woodward High School. 2nd down and 12. He did lose a couple of yards. The pass deflected again.
It was Grover. I think it was Brent Grover, 58, who got his hands on that one.
Or maybe a Wichiku, 39. Grover's having a big game for the Boilermakers.
Got that extra large helmet right
See
there.
who gets it.
Yeah, it was Grover.
It is Grover, indeed.
Yeah. So this is what he looked like when he first came to school. He didn't look like that Thursday when we saw him.
There he is now before the game.
Looked like he fell off a mural of the Last Supper.
Screen pass, complete. And down to the 2-yard line to Anastasio. Chase Anastasio. They had the right call on as the blitz came. It gains 15 yards. 1st and goal Irish.
Nice play call by Bill Dietrich. That was the play they scored against BYU to Raymond McKnight. It was also a play they faked the screen and threw a touchdown to Matt Shelton a week ago. This time a different player, and they throw the screen to Anastasio. Almost gets in the end zone. So good sequencing of plays. Good block down here by the wide receiver and by Ryan Harris.
It'll be 1st and goal now from the 2-yard line. Play action. Option fake. Quinn rolls in trouble. Throws it. Incomplete. Intended for Fasano. Dangerous play there by Brady Quinn.
That's one I think you throw in the stance. And Ray Edwards for Purdue is down, who's played so well, but just too tight a throw. Just don't take a chance. This could have been picked off by Rogers.
Fasano makes a gallant attempt at it and actually nearly caught it. Brady Quinn, Pat, has hit 7 different receivers today, 13 of 19, 194 yards.
Not the balance you wanted, but you see the growing maturity of a guy who 19 years old, still just beginning to hit his stride.
Even has a completion to himself, one of the 7 receivers he's hit today.
Becoming a regular thing for him.
But you saw that how much Purdue has stopped the run on 1st and goal from the 2. They went to the pass on 1st down. So 2nd and goal.
Here's Fasano down here. Caught 2 touchdowns last week.
Walker behind Powers Neal. Walker. Ball loose. Fumble recovered by Purdue.
Was it Anthony Spencer, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, who's kind of stripped him. So what a game these defensive ends have had. He's had 2 sacks, chased down a play, a tip ball, and now it looks like Spencer caused the fumble. Right, maybe it did jinx him.
I didn't want to bring it up, but I'm sure he will next time he sees you.
Watch number 49 right there. He's battling the whole way. Gets his left arm in there. The ball comes out. Great first half by Anthony Spencer.
And all of the Purdue defense, as a matter of fact, they've yielded some yards at times, but have held Notre Dame to a field goal so far. And the Boilers lead it 13-3. Hats off to the Purdue D.
Well, second biggest play of the game, number 49, Anthony Spencer. Watch the strength in his hands and arms as he strips Darius Walker of this ball as he's going into the end zone. Just ripped it out of there with his left arm. One of his teammates recover. And other than the kickoff return for a touchdown, that's the biggest play for the Boilermakers today. He's had a bunch of them.
So the first fumble of Walker's college career, a costly one after the long drive. Notre Dame comes up empty. Back at Notre Dame football, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Purdue takes over at its own 3-yard line. Orton adjusting things at the line. Handoff. Not much there for the running game. In fact, Purdue's in negative territory for the game with the run.
Brandon Jones, number 27, in there for Joe Tiller's offense. Is a guy that had did he have a nice game last week, a versatile game, ran the ball for 77 yards, caught 7 passes for 95 yards, and also, like Boyd, a good pass protector for Kyle Orton.
Jones got a yard on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9.
Well, the first time they've run the 2 tight ends and not their spread offense.
Another handoff to Jones. Crosses the 5 and then is thrown back. Forward progress will get into the 6 or 7. Greg Pauley first to hit him. Walker's fumble just when Notre Dame was threatening to score a touchdown or at least a good field goal attempt.
And Tom, we talked at the very beginning of the show of the great decision making of Kyle Orton and how he manages the game. Now this is a critical play for him. 3rd and 6. An experienced quarterback, a guy who knows how well his defense is playing, knows that he's up by 10 points on the road. Don't take too many chances.
Let's see how Notre Dame plays it defensively.
Press coverage, for one thing, all the way across the board.
Press coverage showing blitz from the linebackers. Now they back out. Orton rolling. He's going to run with it. Gets by Goolsby and has the first down. Down the sideline, Kyle Orton, the veteran quarterback, using his feet instead of his arm to pick up a Boilermaker first down. He covered 16 yards.
Yeah, the eyes always downfield, waiting for somebody to break open. Kind of breaks containment because he got a good block by his left tackle, Mike Otto. And then, pretty good speed for a guy who's 6'4", 226 pounds.
Got right around Goolsby. Put a little move on him. And as a matter of fact, Goolsby took a step in the wrong direction and couldn't catch him. So first down Boilermakers, a big one as they advance the ball to the 22-yard line. Orton, first down pass, going downfield, and it's off the fingertips of Ray Williams. No, Dorian Bryant, number 9, defended there by Tom Zibikowski, one of the safeties.
You know, Joe Tiller, Tom, has really created a program. This is not just, you know, an up and down team, but really had a great program in his 8 years at Purdue.
Previous 7 have all ended up in bowl games. Not many schools can say that.
See what happened before he arrived. The 10 previous seasons, 0 bowl appearances, 3 of those on January 1st. And perhaps the favorite in the Big Ten right now.
Said what has been the biggest thing about the returning Purdue to football glory? He said expectations, which is a double-edged sword. Here's a catch by Stubblefield, and he'll go out of bounds having picked up the first down. Taylor Stubblefield with his 2nd catch of the game.
Yeah, this is a guy that, you know, came in with 257 career receptions, almost 3,000 yards at 800-yard games. 11 receptions last week against Illinois. And he's a guy that just works that slot, works the middle of the field, and he and Kyle Orton have a, you know, kind of a magical thing going between the two of them.
Not joined at the hip, their coach said, but close to it, and closing in on the Big Ten record with 259 career receptions. First down, Purdue from the 33. Just over 3 minutes to go till halftime. Just beat the play clock in the pass. Nice catch made. Stubblefield, as Orton threw it so hard, but Stubblefield able to hold on. In fact, the coaches were telling us that Orton one time threw it so hard that it broke the glove. The catching glove of Taylor Stubblefield. Zibikowski hit him immediately.
Well, you know, Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, is saying, you know, that there's very few guys that can catch his hard ball, his fastball when he wants to throw it, but Taylor Stubblefield is one of those guys.
Strong-armed Kyle Orton, Heisman candidate, the senior from Altoona, Iowa, who grew up a big Nebraska fan. Changing the play on 2nd and 5. Got a second to get it off. Just did. And it's a draw play to Jones, and Brandon Jones fumbled the ball. Notre Dame thinks they have it. Let's see.
I think they may have called him down.
He will be down. Zibikowski thought he had the fumble.
You know, Tom, I don't think there's anything more fun for a quarterback to call an audible that's successful. And Kyle Orton last week called 2 audibles that turned into touchdowns. He audibled there to a little draw play to his tailback, Brandon Jones, and this was successful as well.
And he was definitely down.
Managing the game.
First down, Boilermakers. This drive started deep in their own territory after they recovered an Irish fumble at their own 2. Orton, plenty of time. When you give him that kind of time, forget about it. Nice catch made by Charles Davis, the tight end.
That is as good a throw you're going to see in high school, college, or professional. I mean, you know, it's not a big, long touchdown or anything like that, but it was great coverage, and Charles Davis, the tight end, just had a tiny little opening, and that ball was drilled in there by Kyle Orton.
13-yard gain. Kyle Orton, who has grown close to his head coach, Joe Tiller. They're famous for their discussions of everything about life, including some political discussions where they operate from the opposite ends of the spectrum.
November 2nd, they'll be going to different polling booths.
Bunch the receivers now. 5 of them, 3 to the right. Orton's pass to one of those on the right, caught by Ray Williams.
You know, when Kent Baer watches this tape tomorrow with his defense, he's going to say, you know what? We have these guys pretty well covered. And, you know, there's a difference between accuracy and ball placement, and I think Kyle Orton has just placed the ball perfectly, even though some of those receivers are well covered.
And with 1:33 left in the first half, Purdue will take a timeout. Boilermakers are driving, already leading Notre Dame 13-3.
Jimmy Roberts in New York, coming up on the Lexus Halftime Show. Of course, all the scores and highlights from college football's top 25. Number 2, Oklahoma. Number 5, Texas in action early today. And we take a look at big-time high school football as we hear from the author of the best-selling book, Friday Night Lights. It's all coming up on the Lexus Halftime Show. But right now, we send it back to South Bend. Tom, Pat, and Lewis.
All right, Jimmy, thank you very much. We'll look forward to that. A wonderful book, Friday Night Lights, Odessa, Texas, the high school football As we drove from South Bend to West Lafayette the other day to talk to the Purdue players and coaches, couldn't help but notice in the small Indiana towns the football stadium, and thinking in those small towns the whole focus of that town is on that Friday night game in the high school ranks.
Yeah, Purdue High School in Odessa, they have a $5.6 million stadium. High school, chartered planes to games, pretty incredible.
Kyle Orton has hit his last 4 passes. Here's a running play and a halfback pass. Pass to Williams. Caught at the 1-yard line. They'll mark it about the 2-yard line as Williams got it for 28 yards. Brandon Jones with a pass to Williams.
You know, Tom, we've watched this series, I think, 3 times together, and Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, always comes up with something a little bit special. And they're just a fun team to watch, and they execute so well. I mean, sometimes you see some of these trick plays that don't work, but when Purdue runs them, they just seem to run more of a shot put than a throw by Brandon Jones.
Didn't matter, he got there. And Williams on the other end had a little space between defenders, held on, 1st and goal Purdue.
Really important defensive series right now for the Irish. Force a field goal.
Play action fake, wide open, touchdown. Rob Ninkovich, who is a defensive lineman, comes in on the goal line, plays at tight end, and makes the catch for the touchdown.
Great call again by Jim Chaney. Back-to-back. The best play-action pass on the goal line is on 1st down. You know, they'll run a halfback pass to play before this, get them on their heels. So really good play calling, sequencing of plays by that man, Jim Chaney, who's the offensive coordinator for Purdue.
Extra point attempt by Ben Jones. Through the uprights, and Purdue, with a minute to go in the half, has increased its lead to 20-3. And this one winds up with a couple of gadget plays, a halfback pass to the 2, and then the defensive lineman, Rob Ninkovich, on the receiving end of the Kyle Orton pass, wide open in the end zone. And the Boilermakers lead the Irish 20-3 in the last minute of the half. Purdue with a 97-yard touchdown drive, 11 plays, 97 yards, 3.5 minutes, engineered by Kyle Orton, who threw the touchdown pass, and it's hit 14 of 20 on the afternoon.
I think it was longer than the Rose Parade.
He's hit 5 in a row to end the half. The touchdown, the first given up by Notre Dame in more than 6 quarters since the 4th quarter against Michigan State. So
they had a quick score and a kickoff return and a methodical drive of over 90 yards.
Levin's kick to Anastasio at the 1-yard line. Anastasio breaks free for a moment. Nice return to the 31-yard line.
Hey, Tom, how about the play in the first half of Anthony Spencer, the number 49 for Purdue, the defensive end who has been brilliant in the first half. A couple of sacks on Brady Quinn. There was number 1. Number 2 wasn't fooled on the bootleg, but the biggest play, just when the Irish were going to get right back in the game and score, the big strip of one of his teammates recovered. Beautiful first half for Anthony Spencer.
And after that fumble recovery, the Boilermakers drive 97 yards with a couple of trick plays included to take a 20-3 lead. Now 57 seconds left for Brady Quinn.
And 2 timeouts.
Pass complete to the tight end Freeman as the flag flies on the hit by Iwichiku, out of bounds. That is another careless Purdue penalty.
I'll call it stupid.
Yeah, well, it was stupid.
Yeah, they've had 2 of them. One on the the 4th down punt. They jumped off sides.
After the play, late hit, personal foul, number 39 on the defense. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Well, that generally gets you a seat on the sidelines next to Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator.
Not even a seat. You had to stand up over there. There it is, right, already in the white. Freeman had gone out of bounds, clearly out of bounds.
Yeah, there's an official right there, and you're in front of the Notre Dame bench. So 15 free ones.
Puts it at the 48 of Purdue. That's the 2nd penalty against Purdue today, but both have been untimely. 2 timeouts left for the Irish. And they're already in Purdue territory. 54 seconds on the clock. Brady Quinn almost ran and then does decide to go. Caught from behind after a gain of a yard.
Well, Brady Quinn went from 6'4" to 6'2" on that one. He just got sandwiched in between Villarreal and Ray Edwards. Yikes. Really good pass coverage down the field because Brady Quinn had a lot of time. Didn't he? Just holding him. Watch how he gets hit by, is it Grover? Yeah, Grover. No, there's Villarreal and Edwards.
And Notre Dame stops the clock with a timeout. It shows 46 ticks left till halftime. .46 seconds left in the half. 20-3. The 15th-ranked Boilermakers unbeaten at 3-0. Brady Quinn and the Irish. Closing seconds of the first half with a 2nd and 9 from the 47 of Purdue. Boilermakers show blitz.
Casano, the tight end, is going to get a clean release. No, he stays in the box.
Through the hands of McKnight, incomplete. I think he lifted his eyes up to see if he was about to get hit coming across the middle there, and the ball sailed right through his hands.
It's the slant route he caught a little bit earlier very, very well. I actually should have kept running through that ball. You're right, Tom. He slowed down. He runs through it, catches it, and maybe he's still running. Catch that ball on the move.
Carlisle Holiday is now in.
Well, remember, he can throw it, too. Former quarterback right here.
Quinn tripped up as he rolls out and just flings it away to the sideline. It'll be 4th down coming up. Villarreal, the man that put Quinn down, putting the pressure on Brady and making him unload it. Another good series for the Purdue defense.
I'll tell you, a really good series or first half for the front four for Purdue. Edwards and Grover, Villarreal and Spencer, all 4 of them have played very well for that man. Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator.
It sometimes come with what they call the posse formation to rush the passer, giving you 4 defensive ends up front, but they've kept the defensive tackles on the field most of the half, haven't they?
Indeed. I haven't seen that posse yet.
Fitzpatrick punting on 4th down into the end zone for the touchback with 27 seconds left. I wouldn't relax with 27 seconds left, and Kyle Orton behind center. Don't forget, coming up at halftime on our Lexus halftime report, we'll send it back to Jimmy Roberts in New York. He'll have scores and highlights, plus an interview with the author of Friday Night Lights, the book, the wonderful book, which is soon to be a movie at your local theater, opening up Friday of the coming week, I believe.
I've actually been told by some people in Texas, truly, true story, that you've never been treated better than you have been as a football player in high school in the state of Texas. Your life never gets better after that.
Kyle Orton just takes a knee to bring the first half to a close. A successful first half for Joe Tiller and the Boilermakers, who get a productive first half from their quarterback, Kyle Orton, a good half from their defense, and a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So offense, defense, and special teams all clicking for the unbeaten Boilermakers in the first half as the final seconds officially tick to a close to end the second quarter. Let's go down to Lewis.
All right, Tom, thanks. Coach, can you describe what's happening to your offense? They've been shut down, only 6 rushing yards in the first half.
Well, but we still put the ball in positions to score. We've been in the red zone a couple of times and not took advantage of those. The last one was a fumble right down here inside the 5, and that's what we've got to do. You've got to take advantage of those plays, and outside of that, we're still making far too many mistakes to hold a good football team.
All right, Coach, thanks. Good luck. Tom?
All right, Lewis, the failures in the red zone include a partially blocked field goal attempt and a fumble at the 3-yard line recovered by Purdue. And, of course, Brooks had the 100-yard touchdown return on the kickoff. So, Boilermakers lead at 20-3. Now stay tuned for the Lexus halftime show right after these messages and a word from your local NBC station.
Hi, everyone, and Jimmy Roberts in New York with the Lexus halftime show. Purdue leading Notre Dame 20-3 at the half. Kyle Orton, normally a spectacular and
stadium with 15th ranked and unbeaten Purdue leading Notre Dame 20-3. And Pat, I think that we expected fireworks from the Purdue offense, and they have looked good. Maybe not as good as we expected, but what we didn't expect perhaps was spectacular play from their defense and special teams.
Yeah, and particularly the defensive line. You know, the defensive line of Purdue has really had a terrific first half, and I think, you know, that's the thing that if they can keep that up in the second half, it can make an awful difficult for Notre Dame to come back here at 20-3.
Let's look at our serious halftime stats now, and see that actually even in first downs, neither team has been able to rush the football effectively.
But it's really been 2 plays, right? It's been the 100-yard kickoff return, and it's been the forced fumble when Notre Dame was going in to score. So really 2 plays have been the difference makers in the score so far.
And Purdue has been the one to take advantage of them. The big plays have been mostly on Purdue's side today.
Well, as you said, we kind of expected them, but right on the special teams, Jerome Brooks takes it 101 yards, actually officially 100 yards. Good little spin move, broke a tackle. That kind of shocked him, but I think this play was perhaps even larger as Spencer, number 49, had a great first half, just strips the ball, and then the ensuing drive includes this trick play down to the 2-yard line, and then the very next play. So the forced turnover, 97-yard drive, and the Boilermakers go up with their second touchdown.
So how do things change around now? Notre Dame is going to have to get some pressure on Kyle Orton, and they're going to have to get their offense clicking and avoid the crucial turnovers. The Irish heading back to the field for the second half. They trail Purdue 20-3.
Pretty frustrated coming out of the tunnel onto the field for the second half. And I asked him, what about slowing down Kyle Orton? He thought they were doing pretty good until they gave up that 98-yard march down the field. But he said, number one, they have to have a better pass rush on Orton in this second half. And number two, maybe a bit tighter coverage on the wide receivers. Now, on the other side of the field, Brock Spack, Purdue's defensive coordinator, was pleased with the way they played. He said, look, when you're playing a team at this level, you have to make them one-dimensional. And Purdue has done that. They have shut down Notre Dame's rushing game, only 6 yards, and they've gotten after Brady Quinn. They'll continue to try and do the same thing in the second half. Tom?
All right, Lewis, Quinn getting ready because he'll be on the field first. Notre Dame receives the second half kick.
And remember, this is an important drive for Brady Quinn. Last week, he did not play well in the second half after a brilliant first half.
Chase Anastasio retreats. The ball out of the end zone, touchback. So Brady Quinn begins at the 20-yard line in this second half. Quinn had a pretty good first half. And going back to what Lewis said from Kent Baer, I thought at times the Notre Dame defense had pretty good coverage. It's just that Kyle Orton knows where to put the ball and just gets it right in the absolute perfect spot.
You're right. The ball placement that he had, not just the accuracy, but I mean, he'd throw it to the left shoulder or the right shoulder, wherever the was required. I mean, it was just perfect ball placement by Kyle Orton this first half.
A legitimate Heisman candidate. But it's Notre Dame's first attempt on offense. And Brady Quinn winds up and has a man wide open. It's Shelton. Did he catch it? Did he hold on? Yes, he did. Shelton with a diving catch for 18 yards on the first play of the second half.
Had the pleasure of meeting Matt Shelton yesterday, Tom, and he was a terrific guy. And what great hands. Good moves, the inside fake, you break it out. And, with his speed, if they can combine the deep ball with a couple of out routes, have him run the post and the streak, combine that with just a comeback or an out, those are 2 good routes for Matt Shelton.
Really a pleasant young man, wasn't he, from Colliersville, Tennessee. First rushing attempt, about the same as the first half, although Walker manages to move the pile for a couple of yards. Just no rushing game to speak of at all for the Irish. Tyrone Willingham is not about to take off. That's some sort of signal he's giving.
We'd like his offense, or at least the running game, to take off a little bit more. This is an offensive line that the last 3 weeks has played particularly well, but there has not been a lot of creases in this Boilermaker defense.
Short drop pass on target, caught. Samardzija takes it for a first down, close to midfield. Tackled there by Brian Hickman.
We talk about Notre Dame's offensive line. I was looking at Dan Stevenson, the right guard, number 74 that time. Good pass protection from Brady Quinn, allowed him to get back and just delivered that ball on time. We had a nice conversation with Dan yesterday and saying, he was talking to us about Brady Quinn, saying, last year as a freshman, he really thought, he was kind of nervous, but this year he's really come into his own.
This is what satisfies him during a game.
You get that 100-yard rusher, you don't let your quarterback get hit, and you get one of those or 2 of those pancake blocks.
Haven't seen any of those today. Walker, nowhere to go. Dropped for a loss of a yard. Villarreal, penetration into the backfield.
But Ray Edwards, number 10, remember he was injured in the first half, came back. Ray Edwards just stuffed that. He took on Bob Morton, who was pulling, and Ray Edwards clogged up the hole and allowed Villarreal to finish it off. Well, he is one strong dude. Different than the kind of defensive ends they've had the last few years at Purdue. Have been kind of, smallish, quick guys who rush the passer. He's pretty stout.
8 rushing yards. Walker 12 carries for 25 yards today. Quinn. Across the middle, but too high. Intended for Freeman. Would have been a first down had he been able to hold on to the high ball from Quinn, defended by Grant Walker.
Freeman, one of their tight ends. 7 catches by the tight ends in the first half for over 140 yards. Smiling Kyle Orton. Good protection again by that offensive line. Just a pitch. He was open, too.
Yep. So a key 3rd and 10 here. Notre Dame needed to open the second half with some success. They face a crucial 3rd and 10. Purdue shows blitz. Protection. Pass caught in traffic by Fasano, but short of the first down. Wrestled to the turf by George Hall. And it will be 4th down and about 4 yards to go.
George Hall, the middle linebacker for Purdue, a guy that you love a linebacker who says, I like to hit. And that's kind of what he likes to do. You like that out of your middle linebacker. So good tackle by George Hall.
Had only 1 start a year ago and 13 tackles. Didn't play in 2002.
He actually started 1 game at fullback against Ohio State last year.
Fitch High School, Groton, Connecticut. Fitzpatrick on 4th down, trying to pooch punt it. Stubblefield lets it go.
Oh, that's a bite.
And it will be down at about the 3-yard line. Good Fitzpatrick punt. And good coverage by the Irish. 42 yards and no return. Purdue with the ball. When we come back, they lead it 20-3. Purdue leads 20-3, and they begin from their own 3-yard line after the punt by Fitzpatrick. Watch Kyle Orton's reaction as Taylor Stubblefield, his buddy, fielded it.
Catch it.
He didn't catch it, and it rolled to the 3-yard line. Gerard Boyd, who was injured in the first half, back in the backfield now for Purdue.
I'm not sure what he wanted to say, but he was not happy that it was not caught.
So I've got to start from the 3, and he does. And his pass, the receiver fell down. It's incomplete. Stubblefield fell down on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 3. Remember, in the first half, Purdue had a 97-yard march for a touchdown.
And you know what the key play was in that drive, I think, other than the touchdown itself, was a scramble that Kyle Orton made out of the back of the end zone.
See if they can do it again. It's 2nd down and 10 from the Purdue 3. Goolsby coming on a blitz. They pick it up, and the pass deflected, incomplete.
Derek Landry, number 66.
That's becoming a specialty for him, isn't it?
Absolutely. His 4th tip pass of the season. Derek Landry talked to us yesterday about that. And again, we've already talked about the vision these defensive linemen have. You have a quarterback that's so accurate, he's going to get a lot of 3-step drops. Maybe you don't get to him, but you get the hand up. Watch number 66. He has actually right shoulder into that one.
So 3rd down and 10 from the Purdue 3-yard line. Defensive line today. With those balls, that's the season numbers.
There's 2 guys over here, only 1 defender.
Now they see it.
Oh, Orton should have snapped that ball.
Burrell comes out to cover him after they had no one. And they're showing blitz again. They back out of the blitz. Toss it downfield, caught by Stubblefield. Goodbye! Taylor Stubblefield beat Dwight Ellick and waltzes into the end zone. It covers 97 yards, flag down.
I think they'd have called celebration even before he got in the end zone.
Right, because he was celebrating at midfield.
Again, that's the 3rd stupid play we've seen from Purdue. The officials, it's a point of emphasis this year for them. The touchdown will stand, but they're going to have an unsportsmanlike call against Stubblefield, who was celebrating from the 20-yard line in. Boy, you talk about the touch, the accuracy, the touch. This guy has got all the throws, and this guy wasn't hyped early in the year for the Heisman Trophy.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 21 on Purdue. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
He has earned it. You know, any conversation about him being a Heisman Trophy candidate, he deserves it. He has absolutely earned it. Just right over the top, great catch. Elliott falls down, and that's the celebration they're going to call the penalty on. Now, these are things players know. The coaches tell them these things, and while you love the exuberance, it costs your team 15 yards. So we're trying to win for the first time here since '74.
And Jones with the extra point, good. So another big play, though, for Purdue. A 97-yard touchdown pass for Kyle Orton. Earlier, they had a drive of 97 yards to score. They've had a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Purdue, the big play makers today. Stubblefield celebrating the 97-yard touchdown reception, his 9th touchdown catch of the year. And Purdue has it going today. First win maybe since '74 at Notre Dame Stadium.
Notre Dame should have called timeout. First of all, watch how late they are at the defensive huddle. The offense is already at the line of scrimmage. Then there's nobody covered up here. Burrell starts signaling, hey, I need some help, I need some help. It comes very, very late right there. Now, then they call an audible. Here comes the blitz. But there actually is no blitz. One-on-one coverage. It's just one of those plays. It looked like Notre Dame probably should have called timeout on defense.
And there's the celebration before he even got to midfield by Taylor Stubblefield.
He is the man.
He's the real deal, that's for sure. Heisman Trophy pose for Kyle Orton. He's looked like it today. But Stubblefield's celebration means Purdue kicks off here from the 20-yard line, but things starting to get desperate now for Notre Dame.
And once again, Notre Dame has to become one-dimensional. 27-3, they become a passing team. Give up on the run, and last year 59 pass attempts by Brady Quinn was just too many.
Levin's kick bounces. They let it hit the turf. Picked up by Holiday, and he is clotheslined at the 47-yard line. Wow. Paul Long, number 25. And what was that? They looked at each other. Nobody took the ball. They didn't come up and catch it on the run.
Yeah, they almost wasted a great opportunity after the 15-yard penalty. Got to catch that one on the fly. Got a fortuitous bounce. And then a big hit by special teams by Purdue. So Purdue's special teams have been awfully good. Their offense has been sensational. And their defense has been equally good. Good football teams, and this is a good Purdue one, can beat you multiple ways.
And they're starting to smell it now, don't you think, the Boilermakers?
Absolutely.
13 straight losses at Notre Dame Stadium. First down, handoff to Walker. Running game non-existent for Notre Dame today. Perhaps a yard. Villarreal first to hit him, and they didn't go to what they call their Mayday offense, where they have to pass every down. They try a run on first down.
Well,
they got nothing.
18 rushing attempts, Tom, only 8 yards. Now, that does include the sacks, and there's been a few of them, or 3 of them on Brady Quinn. Nice passing day in terms of percentage, but they got to get the ball in the end zone.
And Walker held for under 2 yards a carry. 13 carries, 25 yards.
Good math.
I had help. Quinn pumps. Got away from one man, another. Finally down for a loss. Sacked back at the 34-yard line.
Well, Ray Edwards finally got to him, but I think we got 2 or 3 other teammates who got their paws on Brady Quinn. And this is a very good defense. Only one senior on this defense. Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator, who has never won here as a player or as a coach. 0 for 7 is Brock Spack, and he's smelling a little bit too.
Yeah, this is the same defense that surrendered 30 points to Illinois a week ago. Quinn has time, and wide open. Anthony Fasano. And Fasano rambles down to the 45 of Purdue. A first down. He has a career-high 6 catches now.
How does he get that open?
And he's well over 100 yards.
How does a guy you've been throwing to all day long get that open? Purdue plays a 4-3, but they don't really put a strong side linebacker over the tight end. So he's kind of a defensive end is, shading his inside shoulder. So he's getting those free releases, and he's one of those guys I think you need to jam more at the line of scrimmage.
Actually, 7 catches and 146 yards is a Notre Dame tight end record.
So he's down here, too. He's got a free release.
Stubblefield over the head of Matt Shelton. Incomplete as Quinn went down after he released the football.
We're telling the Notre Dame coaches telling us yesterday that Brady Quinn needs a complete game. I mean, he played so well in that first half last week against Washington where he threw for those 4 touchdowns, but didn't play particularly well in the second half. And he said it, I need a complete game. Bill Dietrich said it. Tyrone Willingham said it. See what he did in the first half, 65%, and then just 22% and the 1 interception, no touchdowns in the second half when he had some guys wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. Purdue shows blitz, back out of it. Quinn in trouble, got away, going to try to turn the corner. Villarreal chasing him. Takes a hard hit at the 40-yard line from Grant Walker, and Villarreal in hot pursuit.
Tell you one thing Purdue knows is that guy number 10, Brady Quinn's a tough guy. You saw the video earlier, the shots that he took last year as a freshman, and he continues to take them this year, and he just keeps bouncing back up. Very mentally tough and physically tough. The band hasn't seen the scoreboard, have they?
Meanwhile, Purdue stamping itself as a real threat to win the Big Ten.
Well, they have both Michigan and Ohio State at home.
And Kyle Orton stamping himself as a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate. Brady Quinn's pass off the pads of Raymond McKnight as he was hit by Grant Walker.
He's thinking about going for it. Tyrone Willingham on 4th and 5.
From the 40-yard line of Purdue.
Would you throw it to anybody else than Anthony Fasano?
That's right. They're going to go for it on 4th down. 4th down and 5.
First thing, you stay on sides if you're a defensive lineman. Second thing is you know where that tight end Fasano is. And he's right up here.
Quinn has time. The pass to McKnight. And McKnight has a first down. Down the sideline for the touchdown. On 4th down and 5, McKnight with a 40-yard touchdown reception after the good block by Jeff Samarza.
You're absolutely right. Samarza, number 83, is going to make a terrific block right there that allows what would have been just a nice first down play on 4th and 5 to become a touchdown.
So Willingham rolls the dice, and it comes up 7. Well, 6, perhaps 7.
It's kind of cute, Tom.
As Fitzpatrick puts it up and boots it through. It is 7. Notre Dame's first touchdown. Raymond McKnight from 40 yards. Brady Quinn threw it.
Yeah, Raymond McKnight is probably their best receiver after the catch. A little underneath route, uses the umpire as a screener. Catches it, then the block right there by Samarza, and the Irish have some hope.
Brady Quinn, the touchdown pass to McKnight, 27-10, Boilermakers.
Yeah, watch the umpire, Jim Krugstad, right here, and he's going to get screened. He's going to screen the defender out, not intentionally, but you know, good, smart wide receivers use those umpires for the screen. And McKnight did, and picked up a nice block. Irish have some hope.
Back at Notre Dame Stadium, today's game brought to you by Coca-Cola, 27-10, and Joya will kick off for Notre Dame. Brooks and Boyd are deep in an onside kick attempt.
You know, I think that was just a squib.
Didn't do it on purpose, I guess.
And it hit, you know, just kind of drilled it, hit one of the Purdue upmen. What a game Kyle Orton has had thus far, Tom. Boy, done everything well.
Can't afford to give him a short field here either.
Yeah, 2 97-yard drives. 15 of 23, 270 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Looked like Kyle Smith was the man, the former quarterback, now playing safety, was on special teams that time that recovered the ball for Purdue. So Purdue's 6th possession, the last 2 started at their own 3, and both of them produced touchdowns.
I'm talking about a very short field for Kyle Orton.
Orton on first down will be sandwiched and sacked. Tuck and Pauly came together at the quarterback.
Well, Kent Baer told Lewis Johnson at halftime that we've got to get some pressure on him, number one, and play tighter coverage. Well, goal one was accomplished right there. The third sack of the year, 2 of them by the Irish in this game. But, you know, he did not force it. Pauly comes cleanly. Justin Tuck comes cleanly. And then one of those downs that you don't see much if you're a Boilermaker fan, 2nd and 19.
Irish fans hoping that their defense can make a play. 2nd down and 10, or 2nd down and 19, excuse me. Again, the rush. And Orton stepped up and finds a man wide open. It's Bryant. And Bryant cuts to the outside. Down to the 10-yard line and to the 8 before he's finally tripped up by Mike Richardson. 56 yards.
You know, you talk about quarterback getting that second chance. I mean, good rush by the Irish, well defended, and yet Kyle Orton kind of steps up, breaks kind of the inside containment, if you will, and finds a wide open freshman, Dorian Bryant, who's really elusive. He sees that, then he's not looking to run. He's just looking to find that open receiver, and Bryant's so quick and elusive after the catch. Coaches say we're going to get him more and more into the game plan. You understand why.
Well, the big plays by Purdue today have been unbelievable, the way they've been able to have one after another. On the bootleg, Orton takes some punishment at the line of scrimmage. Hoyt and Gouldsby hit him.
That was a run all the way. You know, the first half we saw a bootleg for he threw the ball to a wide open tight end. That was a running play all the way for Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, who's called a brilliant game. There's a sight that Irish fans don't like. Mike Gouldsby missed all of last season with a broken clavicle. Jim Russ, the trainer there for 19 years, looking after him.
2nd down and goal from the 9.
Single coverage up here on Stubblefield. This is the guy who's caught 8 touchdowns, but now 9. Yep.
And Orton has to call a timeout with the play clock at 2. So Purdue takes its first time out of the second half with 6:49 left in this third quarter. Joe Tiller and the Boilermakers with 2nd and goal from the 9, already with a 27-10 lead.
See Sunday.
Simply put, Kyle Orton has been sensational today. 16-24, 326 yards. He's had little throws, big throws. He's run it, he's directed it. And again, his little toss, little bubble screen to his wide receiver. He's thrown it deep with perfect touch and loft. He scrambled when he had to, and his team was backed up in the end zone to keep the chains moving. Good play-action fake, and then a 97-yard touchdown pass to top it off. Tom, he has been incredibly impressive.
He has Heisman written all over him today.
Well, that's actually a P. But
really?
But, you know, he is absolutely, you know, some other guys got a lot of hype before the season, but he has played himself into it. Look at yards per pass attempt. That number is staggering.
How about perfectly poised for the Heisman?
There you go. I like that better. Nice alliteration.
And here he is managing the game, the field general, changing the play and changing the protection. Under pressure, sidearm. Threw that one away. Good coverage. Intended for Stubblefield.
Oh,
I think he just threw it away, though.
Yeah, you're right. You're talking about managing the game. That's what it called for. Don't force it. I mean, you know, the other thing that's really amazed me, Notre Dame's a pretty good, you know, pass rushing team. He's gotten excellent protection most of the time, and when he hasn't, he's been able to kind of maneuver his way into a position to throw the ball accurately. Big defensive series in play right now for the Irish, trying to climb their way back into the game.
3rd and goal from the 9. Fade pass. Caught for a touchdown by Ingram, the 6'9" Kyle Ingram using that height to good advantage. Caught it in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown over Preston Jackson at only 5'9". A full foot height advantage for Ingram.
Smart play. I mean, it's no surprise they're going to use them down by the goal line. Everybody was talking about it this week. And just, give him a chance. He's got great hands, great focus, terrific concentration. He generally has a tough time with bump and run. And that really wasn't a jump ball. That was just a good catch. I think he got that left foot in before he went out. Official right there on the spot.
Jones extra point on the mark. As Kyle Ingram with a touchdown catch.
Well, there you go, Tom. This is you were alluding to. He is 6'9". There's the height of the defensive corners for Notre Dame. And anybody who plays Purdue is going to have to worry about Kyle Ingram when they get inside the 10-yard line. The impressive thing, though, this wasn't really a jump ball for him.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Just a really look at his eyes, the concentration and the focus. Did he get that left foot in?
It's close, very close. He might not have had possession with the left foot down. Let's see.
I'm not so sure he does.
Possession? No, I don't think that should have been out of bounds.
Yeah, I think his left foot is out of bounds as he catches it.
So Purdue gets a break on the call. Orton's third touchdown pass in his last 4 completions.
And it was amazing, though. It was started off, but remember, it was an attempted squib kick by Notre Dame that hit an up man and gave Kyle Orton a short field.
Levin will kick this one off for Purdue. Anastasio to the 24-yard line. If you're wondering, the freshman Justin Hoskins, who was returning kicks a week ago and was expected to see more playing time, was injured in practice this week and not able to play today. Let's go to Lewis.
All right, Tom, thanks a lot. Well, the Purdue fans on high here at Notre Dame Stadium, enjoying the scoring by them. Of course, the Heisman Trophy candidate's dad, Byron, is here. And listen, we were talking about the H word, the Heisman word. How has your son handled this pressure of being considered a Heisman Trophy candidate, Kyle Orton?
Kyle has never mentioned that word to me, and I don't suspect he will. Kyle's just real focused on winning football games, and everything else will take care of itself.
Byron, we were talking about the experience factor as a senior quarterback, and you described the difference between 2 years ago when he lost the game here to what we're seeing now on the field.
It is amazing. You hear all of you analysts talk about the experience factor, but it is so true. I'll tell you, you can just see Kyle with his experience and other experienced quarterbacks too. I mean, it just makes a tremendous difference, and when you follow him every week like we do, you can really see it. It's true.
And in that 7-hour drive over from Altoona, PA, you had to think about the fact that Purdue had not won here since 1974. You and Kyle talked about that. What was his motivation, his mindset as he came here to Notre Dame, trying to break that streak?
Well, one thing Kyle's always told me on the Notre Dame game, he watches a lot of film, always calls me, lets me know what he's seeing. And every year he's told me, Dad, he said, I don't care if Notre Dame got beat by BYU or somebody else. He said they have tremendous athletes, and Kyle just got tremendous respect for Notre Dame. And it's always a dogfight every year. You take Brady Quinn out here. This game isn't over. This kid can put it up too. So Kyle just has a lot of respect for this ball club.
All right, Mr. Orton, continue to enjoy the game as his mom and sisters and a whole gang of folks up here, Tom.
All right, Lewis, that pass incomplete, intended for Matt Shelton. And Byron played football at South Dakota, Kyle Orton's dad, and made the trip over from Altoona, Iowa today, as a matter of fact. And going back to the Kyle Orton 97-yard pass to Stubblefield, Pat, that's the longest offensive play ever against Notre Dame. 97-yard touchdown pass, the longest ever against Notre Dame. The previous was an 88-yard run by Michigan State's Dick Patton in 1951.
I guess the Irish have played good defense for many, many years.
Indeed. Trying to get a little offense now. Quinn hit as he throws, and the catch made by Samardzija. Samardzija turned around by the ball and hit by Hickman. Somehow manages to hold on for the big gain and covered 41 yards.
Jeff Samardzija's really come alive the last 3 weeks for the Irish in the passing game. Adjustments in the air, looking back into the sun right here. Again, just the ball thrown behind him. Actually, really a good fade route or throw by Quinn. And Quinn had to buy himself a little bit of extra time, just as we saw Kyle Orton do it. And then, he never got to enjoy that pass completion.
But it went for the 41-yard first down toss. So from the 23 now, first down for Notre Dame.
It's uncovered right now.
And a blitz comes and flags fly.
We had the safety blitz, Bernard Pollard. And Matt Shelton was wide open in the slot. Nobody covered.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 5 on the offense, 5 yards, 1st and 15.
Raymond McKnight offside, or false start, I'd say.
I think Kyle Orton, too, told his dad, who Lewis just interviewed when he was in 7th grade, that he wanted to be a Division I quarterback. Gave up baseball, concentrated on football.
Yeah, baseball was his best sport then, and his dad was sure that'd be the sport he would pick.
Been a
pretty mean fastball, didn't he?
He does, with a football.
Level screen, McKnight. Raymond McKnight twists his way down to the 10-yard line where Kegler made the tackle.
That's been a successful, probably the most successful play this season for the Irish. That bubble screen. Down here is McKnight in the shadows, going to pick up a good block. But watch the little gap that opens up in here for him. See, here's the lineman who runs right behind those 3 guys. So a well-executed play.
17 yards and a first down.
Hit the leprechaun dancing.
Still got a little dancing to do. Down 34-10. Kind of looked like some of your moves.
My move.
Quinn felt the rush coming, drilled it complete. Fasano to the 1-yard line. Kegler and Rogers combined to stop the touchdown, but Fasano to the 1-yard line. He's having a career day.
Last year in this game, Brady Quinn threw 59 passes. Only 2 of them went to backs and tight ends. He's over a third of his passes this year have been completed to backs and tight ends. Boy, when you get in a big rush, having a friendly tight end to whom you can throw the ball makes a big difference.
Inside the 1-yard line, the tailback is Powers Neal. And Josh Schmidt, the fullback. Rashawn Powers Neal. Hand it to him. And he waltzes into the end zone using his blockers, following Dan Stevenson. And Josh Schmidt makes it into the end zone untouched for the Irish score.
They'll go for 2 here. Try to make it a 34-18 game. You're right. That was a great pull by Dan Stevenson, the guard, to get around in front of him.
So now they'll go for 2. That's Shelton that resets. Quinn watching him. 2-point conversion attempt. Drills it in traffic, and it's incomplete. Samardzija was the intended receiver. The fans called for a penalty, but no flags, and the attempt no good. But the Irish do get the touchdown, stay within striking distance. Now 34-16 after this Rashawn Powers Neal touchdown run. Following Stevenson and Schmidt in for the score, 34-16 Boilermakers. Little xylophone action in the victory march. Notre Dame punted to start the second half on its first possession. Since then, we've had 2 Purdue touchdowns, 2 Notre Dame touchdowns. And time now for our Hall's Fruit Breezers screaming fan of the game.
Might be too early because there's going to be a lot of screaming fans in this 4th quarter coming up.
Keep scoring touchdowns like this. There'll be lots of screaming, huh? No winners yet. The kids get into the action and pretty vocal, but these guys, they need to get something.
Take off your shirt, you always win.
Our Hall's Fruit Breezers screaming fans, plural, of the game.
Well, no more squib kicks, I'm guessing. I'm wrong. That was better executed.
It's still alive, but they can't get there. And fallen on finally by Brooks. So they found a dead spot in there, got it in there. Brooks fell on it, though, for Purdue.
Got to rush that one. He didn't have to fall. He could have picked that up and run for another 10, 15 yards.
See the other scores. Georgia with a big lead on LSU. Georgia, one of the top teams in the SEC.
California out west, too, are awfully good.
Michigan leads Indiana, but only by 7. Wisconsin, a big win over Illinois. Team that Purdue defeated a week ago. And the Boilermakers trying to win their first game at Notre Dame Stadium since 1974. Lead it 34-16. They had the ball with 4:16 left in the third. Kyle Orton, who's been superb, directs a 4-wide receiver attack. And a swing pass to Void is back. And Void, using his blockers, out of bounds after a gain of 13 or 14 yards. Derek Curry got him out of bounds.
You know, we talk about, ball placement versus accuracy. That's another perfect example. The Gall's running. I mean, the back's coming out of the backfield. He doesn't have to adjust to the ball. He's coming right at you, number 32. Just put your hands out and keep running. Just doesn't slow down. And, if he has to adjust, he's tackled by Zibikowski for maybe a 2-yard gain. Instead, it's a first down.
At the 40-yard line of Purdue. Irish show blitz here. And here they come. Purdue picks it up, and it means Stubblefield is open, and Stubblefield has another first down into Irish territory, knocked out of bounds by Richardson at the 45-yard line.
And what a terrific block by Gerard Voigt, the back, who just caught on the play before. He caught the pass, ran for the first down. That time, he picks up a blitzing defender, knocks him down, and allows Kyle Orton not only to throw the ball for another first down, but avoid getting a hit.
Well, we said that this would be a day to watch the quarterbacks, and Orton, the Heisman candidate, 365 yards, and Brady Quinn, the young Irish QB.
Seems like every time we see Brady Quinn play, we say that's the best game we've seen him play. He continues to improve.
Draw play, run by Void, and Void to the 30-yard line, first down Purdue.
3 plays in a row where Gerard Voigt has either had a direct or indirect hand in picking up 3 first downs.
And we said when we started today, Pat, that this was kind of a paradoxical game. Here's the replay. That Purdue would be facing the best defense they've faced this season, but on the other hand, Notre Dame would be facing a veteran quarterback for the first time this year.
Well, remember, they've in their first 4 games, Notre Dame played against 7 different quarterbacks, 2 of them freshmen. So as well as they played defensively, they really weren't sure. And the other thing is they have not caused that fumble today, which they're so apt to do. At least they were in the first 4 games.
Been unable to stop Purdue. Here's Void. Another good gain on first down, about 6 yards. And so the Purdue Boilermakers, especially here in the second half, have been unstoppable by a good Notre Dame defense. 4 plays this drive, 15 yards, 16 yards, 14 yards, and now 6.
Coming into this game, Notre Dame had forced more turnovers, more fumbles than anybody in Division I. And you see the top 26, either top 26. They forced 15 and recovered 10. Tells you they're hustling around to catch the fumbles, but they've not been able to force a fumble today. They need one right now.
Orton's pass on the money to Stubblefield. Another first down for the Boilers. Well, if fans around the country are watching or get to see the highlights of this one, they will be impressed on their Heisman ballots with Kyle Orton. A lot of way to go in the season, of course. Lots of things can happen. But.
Right, he's thrown long ones, he's thrown short ones. He's just, as we said, managed the game well. He
grew up in Iowa, of course, a Nebraska fan, and he wears that number 18 for the former Nebraska quarterback, Brooke Behringer, who was part of the '94 Nebraska National Championship team and killed in a plane crash. And Kyle was telling us he always admired him for his humility and for his team effort. He was benched in favor of Tommy Frazier after Frazier had returned from injury, and took it with good grace and sportsmanship and team thinking, and said Kyle, that's what he really admired about him, and was able to meet Behringer's mother and have a long hour-and-a-half talk with her.
You know, Kyle was benched earlier in his career. You know, it's amazing as well as he's playing now. You say, how could you ever bench this guy? A couple of years ago, he was benched for a few games, and, you know, no petulant behavior for him. Right. Didn't threaten about transferring or leaving. He just kind of hung around, waited for his turn again. And
thought about the man he admired so much, Behringer, and how he had handled a similar situation. And he wears number 18 in his honor. Gerard Voigt gets the carry as Purdue trying to work on the clock a little bit as well and have a little more running plays than we've seen. Tuck and Laws combine on the stop, and things going just right for Joe Tiller today.
Yeah, he's kind of really, you know, changed. Joe Tiller has changed the pace of the game on this drive. You're right, a lot more runs. They're still able to pull it up, put it up to any one of 3 or 4 wide receivers, but really a different kind of pace than we've seen earlier.
Third down play. Orton with protection, crossing to Stubblefield for the touchdown.
How about 17 touchdown passes and no interceptions on the year?
How about it? 12 yards on that one to Stubblefield. His second touchdown catch of the game and 10 on the season.
Yeah, he's got 7 catches for 181 yards. Patience, and then a fastball. We talked about baseball. I don't think he's completely given it up. He threw a fastball there. And Stubblefield catches it. Over 181 yards for Stubblefield on receptions today.
Jones' extra point is good. Purdue's been unstoppable in the third quarter. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. Yep, Dad Byron likes it as his son Kyle enhances his Heisman credentials, and this time finds Stubblefield on the crossing route. Manages to leap into the end zone, and the Boilermakers continue to lead as they try to win their first game in their last 14 tries here at Notre Dame.
We are back. Purdue up 41-16 after another impressive drive. And Taylor Stubblefield, watch the move he puts on right here, the Notre Dame defender. It's a little jitterbug move. Inside, outside, then back inside. Perfectly timed throw right out in front of him, gets in the end zone. So, unbelievable.
4th touchdown pass for Kyle Orton, which ties the record for the most ever by a quarterback against Notre Dame. Been done 9 times. Stubblefield with his second score.
Pretty nice, pretty nifty move there by Stubblefield.
Kyle Orton, 4 touchdown passes against the Irish. The 9th to do that. And Hoskins, we told you he was slightly injured. He told us he could play. The coaches said he won't. He is there, along with Carlos Campbell, to return the kickoff. This is Hoskins. He's going to bring it out of the end zone. Not a good choice. Stopped at the 10-yard line. The exuberance of a freshman playing in only his second game. Perhaps got the best of him there. He's hit hard by Dan Bick on special teams, and Notre Dame backed up to the 10.
Well, we saw Hoskins yesterday, and he was still bleeding yesterday, Friday, from a hit that he took a kickoff return last Saturday. Well, one-dimensional offense right now, trailing 41-16.
And a whistle will stop play. Flags down. 40 seconds left in the third quarter.
Hey, Quinn.
Ball start, number 76 on the offense. 5 yards, 1st and 15.
Brady Quinn having his best day. 361 yards for Quinn. And used a lot of different receivers.
Including himself.
You do what you have to do, Tom, right?
Pass batted right back to him.
Tell you, the way the Irish play defense, though, the last 3 weeks, Tom, did you ever imagine anybody putting up 41 points in 3 quarters against this defense?
Nope.
And, admittedly, they hadn't faced a veteran quarterback, but boy, 41 points on a pretty good defense.
And Orton has sliced and diced them today. Deflected, incomplete, another deflection. Ninkovic, I think, is the man that got it, and he's the man that caught a touchdown pass earlier, playing a little offense. See if that's...
It is he. You know, and those offensive tackles have to block them a little lower down by the ankles or knees so they get their hands down. If you block them too high, he's still able to jump and tip the ball.
Chris Vaughn into the game at a wide receiver for Notre Dame on a 2nd down and 15. From their own 5-yard line. Quinn steps up, and he hits Walker out of the backfield. You heard the hit as Walker lowered his shoulder and made another couple of yards. He's a bit short of the 1st down, I think. Took on Pollard and Hickman, and the freshman has the ball about a yard short of the 1st down.
Tell you what, though, he did finish the play pretty well, though, didn't he?
Did. It's going to be about a foot short, actually, after that one last lunge. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard.
Darius Walker, who's played so well the last 3 weeks, only 37 yards. He's been averaging about 100.
He's the only one in the backfield here. 3rd down and a yard, and Quinn will keep it and will pick up the 1st down.
They need to get in and out of the huddle. I mean, it's, you know, they still have a quarter left, but every possession they need to score on.
That's one reason is that's what Purdue's doing every possession.
Yeah, exactly, just to match them.
They have not been stopped in the 3rd quarter.
You know, I think to beat Purdue, some offensive team is really going to have to win the control, you know, the control game.
Control, yeah.
Just kind of mash it, and
keep their offense off the field.
I think it's the only way you're going to slow these guys down.
Purdue's been getting better as the game has gone on, and they enter the 4th quarter with a 41-16 lead after scoring 3 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter. Here's our Coca-Cola game summary.
Well, you know, almost 800 yards of passing between these two quarterbacks. They've been absolutely brilliant. Stubblefield's been awfully good as receiver, as has Fasano from Notre Dame, the tight end, who's caught 8 passes for 155 yards.
And Kyle Orton of Purdue has a whole quarter to try to set the record for an opponent against Notre Dame if he gets his 5th touchdown pass. Running play to Walker. Darius Walker. Stopped by Hall and Pollard. One of the better running plays they've had today, but Purdue will let them do that all afternoon, what remains of it.
And they're in their hurry up, which is, you know, if you're going to run the ball, you have to be in the hurry up, trailing 41-16 with, you know, the 4th quarter started.
Quinn, his pass good. Caught by McKnight, who ducks out of bounds with an Irish 1st down.
Nice footwork by Raymond McKnight. We've seen him over the middle. We've seen him, he opened the game with an out catch. This was one when they really needed it, down 41-16 in a 3rd and 4. He got both feet in there.
Covered 14 yards. Notre Dame 1st down. 43-yard line of Notre Dame. McKnight had a touchdown catch earlier. Brady Quinn has a man break wide open, Shelton, and he couldn't handle it.
And there's a guy you don't see drop the ball. Matt Shelton hasn't dropped anything this year until that play. The great catch he made against Michigan as he adjusted in the air a couple of weeks ago. He's open, ball's in the air.
It turned him around, but he still should have caught it.
Same kind of play, really, that he did catch against Michigan.
Shelton only 1 catch for 18 yards today.
The guy who's averaged 30 yards a catch coming in today's ball game.
2nd down. Draw play. Walker couldn't get a block, but shook off a tackler and then caught by the shoe tops at the 50-yard line by Kyle Smith.
Well, you mentioned Kyle Smith being a converted quarterback. He was the 13th quarterback last year for the Boilermakers. And boy, he made a shoe top tackle there. Otherwise, Darius Walker has a big hole to begin with. Good block by Ryan Harris. Missed tackle there by Walker. And then Kyle Smith made the tackle.
Smith, a former walk-on quarterback who was awarded a scholarship last year.
He actually played some quarterback in their bowl game last year. Remember, Kyle Orton was hurt for a while against Georgia and took a series on offense.
False start.
False start. Number 64 on the offense. 5 yards, 3rd down.
I think it was 68, Ryan Harris, actually.
5-yard penalty.
Third down and 7 for Notre Dame. Quinn looks like he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Under pressure, he got it away, and a good defensive play made by Antoine Rogers on Raymond McKnight.
As good as some of these other players have played on defense, the coaches call Antoine Rogers their leader. Only senior on defense. Good recovery speed here. No, that's a good clean play. I think he got his right hand right there when the ball came. Good play by Antoine Rogers. And good pressure again from Ray Edwards. Man. The coaches are right about Ray Edwards. He's going to be quite a player. He has been quite a player today.
So on 4th down, Notre Dame will go for it. 4th down and 7. Blitz. Edwards comes as well. Bubble screen. Shelton still on his feet. Racing for the end zone. Just caught at the 20-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle by the linebacker Stanford Kegler, who was staying right with the speedy Shelton. Made a dive to stop the touchdown, but still covers 34 yards.
This is the third different receiver that has caught this little bubble screen. Watch the offensive lineman out in front. All 3 of those big offensive linemen clearing the way, and then kind of across grain is Matt Shelton running. A simple little play, well designed, and remember last week too, we saw them pump that one time and then go deep to a wide receiver, Matt Shelton, for a touchdown.
Quinn looks for the end zone. Awful hands of Fasano and incomplete. And he took a tough hit anyway, but bounced right back up.
Yeah, that's what good tight ends do. He took an absolute shot from Bernard Pollard to safety, and he just shakes it off, bounces back. Would rather play the next play, actually.
Meanwhile, Pat, the 423 passing yards by Brady Quinn today, second most ever for Notre Dame. Joe Theismann passed for 526 against the University of Southern California back in 1970.
In a driving rain. Theismann was unbelievable that day.
But Quinn now second all time against them. And off to Walker. Walker showed his strength, breaking a couple of tackles. Hall and Rogers finally do the job over by the sideline, just short of the 1st down.
Good, powerful run. John Sullivan out there in front, kind of a good block there by LaVore as well, and Bob Morton. And then a powerful, strong run by Darius Walker. Too much time in the huddle here, though, by the Irish, huh?
Yeah, I thought they were in the hurry up.
Clock's still going.
In a running play, Darius Walker. Villarreal stops him. And Notre Dame calls a timeout. Well, the Purdue band celebrating at the moment with a 41-16 lead and a tick under 12 minutes left.
I was just guessing.
Sometimes there at Notre Dame they get very serious about it.
Look at this offensive onslaught of the last 4 games.
And what about the stat at the bottom there?
Yeah, 0 turnovers. That to me is remarkable. Again, playing against a team that's caused 16 turnovers, leading the NCAA, was Notre Dame with averaging 4 a game.
Brandon Jones, who had a 100-yard kickoff return earlier, has a nice run on first down to the 30-yard line. Tom Zibikowski stopped him. And what about Kyle Orton? He had never thrown 4 touchdown passes in a game prior to this season. Against Syracuse, he had 4, Ball State 5, Illinois 4, and today against Notre Dame 4, equaling the most ever. And the drives, the first 3, 2 field goals. The last 4, they've been unstoppable.
And, you know, they can do it a couple different ways, too, Tom. And we saw the 197-yard, pass play, so they can do it in one play, or they can be methodical if they have to as well. So they can change the pace of the game and control the game a couple different ways.
But not all offense, as we've seen today. Their defense has played well, too. Not a one-dimensional team at all. And we'd like to remind you to put this one on your calendar. It's one of the great days in all the world of sports. October 30th, the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships coming to you for the first time from Lone Star Park, Grand Prairie, Texas, the Dallas suburb. The 9th different track to have hosted the Breeders' Cup. Should be quite an afternoon. The richest day in American racing. 8 races. The Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships, October 30th, here on NBC. Hard to believe it's already October.
Feels like it today.
It does today. A little nip in the air today. Reset Davis, the tight end. Hand it off to Jones. Flag is down.
How many penalties this game? It's only the 4th on Purdue today. Assuming they call it on Purdue, which they just did.
Brandon Hoyt, the tackle.
So this is a well-coached team. A few penalties, only 4 penalties. They play great offense. They're playing great defense. Joe Tiller has got a program going. That's what he talked to us about this week. He didn't want to be an up-and-down team.
Holding offense number 56, 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
And for so long, Ohio State and Michigan have kind of dominated the conversation in the Big Ten. But since his arrival 8 years ago, he has absolutely done a spectacular job. Perhaps the class of the Big Ten this year.
Could be. Certainly looking like it in their first 4 games. They got the special teams, 100-yard kickoff return from Jerome Brooks. They got the 4 touchdown passes from Brady Quinn. A couple of touchdown receptions from Taylor Stubblefield. Now getting the running game going. And the defense has stymied Notre Dame most of the game.
He just threw that one in the dirt because he knew the screen was covered. Goolsby had read the screen, was right on top of the back that was supposed to get it. So what does Kyle Orton do? Just throw it in the dirt and face 3rd and 16. He's so smart and sees the field, does all those little things that offensive coordinators and head coaches appreciate.
Averaging 12 yards per attempt, not per completion.
Yeah. They came into the game averaging 9.5 yards, almost a first down every attempt coming in today's game, and today even better.
Brandon Jones has rushed for 40 yards and thrown a touchdown pass today. Here he is again.
I think Notre Dame needs to at least attempt a punt block, don't you, Tom? Just to change the momentum a little bit. Under 10 minutes left in the game. They've blocked 1 punt this year, and they need another one.
And Purdue had a punt blocked against Illinois.
The long snapper is Brandon Villarreal, a guy who's played so well on defense. Doubles up as a long snapper, too.
Dave Breitis has been the forgotten man. Just his 2nd punt of the game. Line drive. This is Raymond McKnight. Fell down. That'll mark the play dead around the 35, 36-yard line. Carlisle Holiday normally returns punts. Don't know if he's injured or not, but remember he took that one big clothesline hit on a play and perhaps shaken up. We've got a timeout. 9:25 to go. It's 41-16 Boilers. Unexpected play of the game brought to you by the document company Xerox, helping your company grow in unexpected ways.
We'd love a few more copies of that the next few weeks, wouldn't it?
Nice. Nice segue.
3-man rush, playing some prevent defense now.
Still getting pressure on Quinn, chased him from the pocket.
Tom, as a quarterback and you see that three-man rush, Tom, I think you really have to change your internal clock. You know you're should have more time. Now, obviously, more men back in coverage, but you're going to have more time that you're going to have to drill something to squeeze it in tight coverage.
Ray Edwards almost took the snap.
He's done just about everything else, hasn't he? Defensive ends have been impressive.
Offside, defense, number 10, 5 yards, still, actually first down.
You know, Joe Taylor with a 41-16 lead, you think he'd be kind of feeling pretty good about things. As we talked to him this week, he's felt he's had a few games in here, one in the past, and they have not turned out well for him. And
well, he's had some frustration in big games during his tenure at Purdue. First down via penalty for Notre Dame. Quinn's pass behind Marcus Freeman.
Well, you know, his very first win at Purdue was against Notre Dame, but that was at home. You see, on the road, 0-11 at Notre Dame, at Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. And so when we were with him this week, very, looking forward to having an attempt to win, but he was never going to get too comfortable.
He said, if I could just have a normal game where some of these fluke things didn't happen. And so he is on the verge of winning at Notre Dame for the first time, breaking a 30-year drought, and then he goes to Penn State next week. Quinn, good protection. His pass this time on the mark to Jeff Samardzija. By Rogers.
Brock Spack, the defensive coordinator, has really called a good game as well. But as we talked to him this week, there was no guy who wanted to win at Notre Dame more than he. 0 for 7 as a player and as assistant coach, and then as a defensive coordinator. Boy, his defense has played spectacularly.
Third down play. Quinn keeps. Found a big seam up the middle and takes it inside the 40 for the Notre Dame first down, where Bernard Pollard and Brent Grover hit him.
And for Notre Dame, what do they take from this game? I think it's one of those games where they can't get out of rhythm early, and they must be able to run the ball to first control the clock and keep it away from offenses like Purdue's, but to be more balanced. As well as Brady Quinn has played, we showed you that statistic earlier. When he has to throw over 30 times a game, they lose. He has 45 pass attempts today. He's only won one game in his career when they've thrown the ball more than 30 times.
Ball loose. And Ray Edwards was the man again, all over Brady Quinn. Notre Dame recovers.
Well, you can call him Ray, you can call him Ray Edwards, you can call him anything you want. He's a heck of a pass rusher, and Brady Quinn comes up a little injured. Didn't see him. Comes all the way around the back. Again, tells you pretty good coverage downfield, right, Tom? Because he had a lot of protection early in that play.
Never saw Edwards coming from the blind side.
They're a guy that can't really afford to lose either, Brady Quinn, because they don't have a lot of experience behind him. A true freshman, and Pat Dillingham, former walk-on.
Pass broken up behind Fasano. It looked like Kegler batted it down.
Kegler on the coverage for the Boilers.
Stops the clock at 6:58. Quinn has put it up 46 times today, closing in on that 59. That's the highest for any quarterback in this stadium. Remember, he set the record of all venues with 59 at Ross-Ade Stadium last year.
But what have we learned? You want him to throw 22 to 25 passes and run it 40 times a game. Have that kind of balance. That's when they do that. That's when they're playing their best.
Again, he held it a little long because the coverage was good from Purdue, and he's sacked. It's Ninkovich who's done a little bit of everything today.
Yeah, Ninkovich doesn't even start at defensive end, so they have three very good ones in Edwards and Spencer and Ninkovich.
And Notre Dame takes its second timeout. It's going to be another fourth down for the Irish. It seems like every drive has had one of these fourth downs. There's the problems Quinn has had today, despite his success at times through the air.
It was
take a look now at our Coca-Cola defensive play of the game. And this was a huge one in the big picture. Our defensive play of the game. It occurred right down on the Purdue 3-yard line.
Spencer, number 49, just kind of rips it loose. And other than the kickoff return for the touchdown, that definitely was the biggest play, because then they won 97 yards for a touchdown.
Our Coca-Cola defensive play of the game. And Purdue hoping to move up in the rankings from their current number 15.
Can't imagine they wouldn't.
The record with a win, their first since '74 at Notre Dame Stadium, would put them at 4-0 to start this season.
And remember, this is a Notre Dame team that was hot when they came in here. They had won 3 straight. Defense playing great, causing 16 turnovers. They've done everything well.
Could be a free play here as the flag flies. Looks like Purdue is offside. It goes to Marcus Wilson out of the backfield. Stopped at the 35-yard line. Which would be short of the first down, so they'll take the penalty and get the play again.
4th and what, 7 or 8 instead.
Villarreal, the man that was offside.
Offense, number 55 offside, 5 yards, repeat, 4th down.
He's had a nice game, though. Villarreal, Brent Grover inside. We've talked about the defensive end so much, but Villarreal as an inside player, long snapper. He and Brent Grover really kind of clogged up that middle.
Notre Dame accepts the penalty.
And I'm just playing the 34 defense, prevent.
So now 4th down and 7. Quinn sacked.
It's a 3-man rush, Tom.
Ninkovich again.
How many sacks is that? I think that's at least 7 sacks on Brady Quinn, and that was a 3-man rush. So right off the corner does Rob Ninkovich come, his 2nd of the day. Purdue's got it going.
Yeah, their Purdue defense looks like they're about as good as the offense.
That's scary.
Long, tiring afternoon for Brady Quinn. He's put the ball in the air a lot, most ever at Notre Dame Stadium by an Irish quarterback, and he's taken some hits and some sacks, some balls deflected. A bit of everything has happened to Brady Quinn today. Purdue takes over on downs with a pitch to Void, and Void stepping his way through would-be tacklers down to the 45-yard line for a 1st down. Quentin Burrell made the tackle. It covered 16 yards. And we'll remind you, next week we'll be back here at Notre Dame Stadium as the Irish take on a Stanford team, a much improved Cardinal team who came within an eyelash of upsetting top-ranked USC last week. Stanford to Notre Dame, that's next Saturday, 2:30 Eastern time.
Trent Edwards, their quarterback at Stanford, doesn't have Kyle Orton's numbers, but 7 touchdowns and only 1 interception. They're 2-1 and play Washington tonight, and they've got 2 great receivers who play basketball as well. So you're going to see some real tall receivers from Stanford next week.
Ray Williams on the end around. We saw 6'9" Kyle Ingram of Purdue catch one in the end zone today.
Yeah, you got 6'7", I think, or 6'7", 6'8", Evan Moore next week from Stanford. So up on the farm, they're pretty happy.
Much improved team.
And there's Ryan Grant, a guy they hope to have back next week. And he's always a leader whether he's playing or not, but they could use his toughness on the field next week. Battling a hamstring injury.
Notre Dame actually has more 1st downs than Purdue today, 25 to 21. Not that means a whole lot, but I just thought you might be interested in a little tidbit.
Not really, but thank you.
Tried. Boyd lost a yard. Zibikowski tackle for a loss. Looks like Dillingham might be coming into the game next Irish possession. At least he's taking some snaps.
I think it's a good thing. Number one, Brady Quinn's been beaten up, took a shot on that sack into his right arm just a moment ago. They need him the rest of the year, and they also need to give him some experience this year. He's had some experience over the last couple of years. Good story, feel-good story. Former walk-on who came on to lead them to a win over Michigan State a couple of years ago. And And then they have a true freshman, David Wolke, behind Dillingham.
Same play, he had 16 yards on a moment ago, and it works again.
You know, that's a sign of a pretty good team when you run the football when the other team knows you're going to run it, and you can still pick up first downs.
This one's going to be marked just short of the first down. Let's see, yes or no.
You know, they can mash it, they can run it wide. What a nice block there out there by his tight end, number 43, Bennett.
Jeff Bennett was a wide receiver and tried to play a little bit of everything, didn't he, at Purdue before finally finding a home at tight end. They're going to measure, by the way, for the first down.
Yeah, Bennett was a walk-on, and we asked Coach Tiller about one of his favorite walk-on stories. He mentioned Jeff Bennett to us, walked on and kind of made himself a really good player. Started on defensive line and then moved to tight end and said, Coach, I'll play wherever you want me to.
First down, Purdue, with 4.5 minutes left on the clock. An impressive display by the Boilermakers today.
Boy,
and by their Heisman candidate,
yeah, you know,
Kyle Orton.
You know, sometimes you hate to talk about it too early in the season, and, you know, the Heisman hype, but it's not hype with him, is it? I mean, he's that.
And not just the numbers, Pat, but the little things, like you've been hammering home, the managing of the game and putting the ball in the right spot. Just the little things he does so well.
Well, the little things lead to the big things, right?
And he hasn't had much success in the past against Notre Dame, but he made up for it today. Boyd tackled by Hoyt.
And, you know, they're doing a real nice job with him, I think, handling all this newfound publicity he's got. It's Tuesday, his press day. I mean, he handles all those interviews, does everything on Tuesday, and then the rest of the week, he is just kind of thinking about football.
And, you know, he's the kind of leader that the other players can rally around because he's one of them. He's a tough guy, hangs out with the offensive linemen. On Thursday, he took the offensive linemen, at least the starters, that's all they could afford, to dinner at a pizza place. 6 of them he took, 6 pizzas he bought, and some appetizers as well, he said. And, you know, he just is the kind of guy that football players can identify with. He's not a prima donna at all.
Yeah, you know, he's a jeans and T-shirt guy, a pizza guy, and lives with David Owen, the right tackle.
Reputed to be the worst dressed player on the team. Unusual for a quarterback, I say, as I look to my right and look at mine.
Well, you know, his mom went out and actually bought him a suit to be able to go out and do all these interviews.
There's his dad, Byron. Flag down as Void carries.
Holding on the offense, number 43, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
I think it was kind of fun talking to Kyle this week as he moves up the ranks of all the productive quarterbacks they've had in Purdue. And they've had some great ones there. Let's see what he's done.
They have had some great quarterbacks at Purdue.
Did you get the sense that Kyle was enjoying the college experience, not just the football, but he seems to, well, he's a history major, seems to like that, took a interesting course this summer.
Had to read, it was an intensive course where he had to read over 20 books, and it was a course that compared the presidents, all with initials, coincidentally, FDR, JFK, and LBJ. And talk to us a moment or two about that. There's the Statue of Liberty play to Jones. Notre Dame was ready for it. Derek Landry, the tackle. So a soft-spoken, low-key, relaxed kind of country guy. Back in Iowa, he says he likes to go visit his friends who live out in the country.
Well, you know what? He's an accomplished bowler. Everybody told us about that. He's got 5 bowling balls, he told us. Really become competitive.
His own shoes, his own shirt.
Yeah, he's got the whole thing.
That's how you tell if you're
Is that Derek Curry?
That's Derek Curry.
Boy, this is a guy that one of the 3 linebackers. We saw Goolsby go off earlier, and now the second of the 3 linebackers, Derek Curry. That's the guy that carries in the chain. You know, the chain is symbolizing the linkage of this team. Has played very well for them this season.
3rd down and 17. It's been quite a while since Orton has attempted a pass as they work on the clock, protecting the lead. And they will continue to do that with Brandon Jones carrying and the clock down to 2:20. Dash, the tackle.
Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, called a great game, set up, you know, these plays, kind of the sequencing of plays, and then they've gone ahead and executed. And he was kind of fun this week, too.
Yeah, we talked to Cheney. I can't imagine a guy doing anything you like more than that.
Yeah.
He was just very jovial and just enjoying doing what he was doing. Well, why not? When you have
A quarterback like that. You know, they keep it simple and they have fun.
And a cheer from the Purdue faithful as the clock continues to tick down, and it's going to be a 4th down play, and they're going to let the clock go as far as it will go.
Well, the Irish Stanford next week.
Take the penalty.
Excuse me, Tom. Stanford next week, but they still face 3 teams that currently are still undefeated in Navy, in Tennessee. He's got a tough one tonight, and then later on the year, USC.
Tough remaining schedule that looks like this.
Look at the total record down here, 20-4.
Toughest in the nation remaining.
How about Navy? Navy's done a fantastic job. Big win Thursday night
over Air Force. Today, Pat, is just the 7th time in Notre Dame Stadium history, 376 games, that the opponent has scored over 40 points. And they called off the Dogs in the 4th quarter as Zibikowski makes a fair catch. No boxing gloves on that one. The former boxer catches it with no problem.
That's the last time you saw a strong safety field a punt. Well, very, very impressive performance for the Boilermakers, including that man, Taylor Stubblefield, who will break the Big Ten record for receptions at some point, perhaps next week.
Yeah, I was talking about the 7th time an opponent in Notre Dame Stadium has scored over 40 points. Purdue has 2 of those, including 51-19 in 1960, the most points ever scored by a visiting team in Notre Dame Stadium. But it's been a long time between drinks of water for the Boilermakers as Pat Dillingham in at quarterback hands to Jeff Jenkins. Well, Jenkins, the junior from Ann Arbor, with a nice game.
You mentioned 1974, the last time they won here. It was Ara Parsegan's last season as the head coach of the Irish. They were the defending national champions and broke a 13-game winning streak for Ara's team. Play again.
Dillingham to McKnight on the bubble screen. Villarreal made the hit. Purdue had not won at Notre Dame Stadium before today since 1974. 13 straight losses. They brought the trophy, the shillelagh, which has been the trophy in this game since 1957, down from West Lafayette. It looks like they'll be taking it back as well.
Hey, Carol, Uncle Joey.
There it is. Led by their Heisman candidate quarterback. The Boilermakers have been very impressive today, not just on offense, but in special teams and defense as well.
And well coached, too.
Yeah, surrendered a lot of yards to Notre Dame, but gave up only 16 points. And made the big plays when it mattered, too, didn't they?
Absolutely.
Jeff Jenkins again.
That's what's kind of impressed me about them. They can play at a couple different speeds. You know, they slowed it down for a while, and then they had that 97-yard touchdown pass between those 2 guys right there. And these guys, they work hard, but they seem to have a lot of fun.
Well, they are right now. That 2-hour-plus drive back to West Lafayette is going to go by quickly. Shelton. And Kegler makes the tackle. Big smile from Kyle Orton and his coach Joe Tiller. They've become very close, as we said. A lot of discussions about everything. Football just a small portion of their relationship now. And they will mutually savor this victory. The first for the Boilermakers here since 1974. Dillingham's pass. Flag is down. Catch made by Samardzija. Taylor Stubblefield had a couple of receptions for touchdowns. Everybody's getting into the act. The 2 teams combined today.
Number 68 on the offense, 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
2 teams combined today for 884 yards passing. That's over a half mile.
You know, make a defensive coordinator cry. 8 different receivers caught balls for Purdue. 3 different receivers caught touchdowns. Look at that gentleman who caught 2 of them.
I wasn't even born then.
So Taylor's a guy easy to like, isn't he?
Yep, we could have talked to him all afternoon. Very cordial. And he finally gets that big win on the road. As Notre Dame breaks the losing string, Purdue breaks the losing string at Notre Dame Stadium with a decisive victory today over the Irish, snapping Notre Dame's 3-game winning streak and pushing the Boilermakers to 4-0 on the season as they head up to Penn State. The embrace from Coach Willingham. As the final score is Purdue 41, Notre Dame 16. Kyle Orton enhancing his Heisman Trophy credentials today with a sparkling 4-touchdown pass performance against the Irish. And the Purdue Boilermakers are for real. They remain unbeaten and look to move up from that number 15 national ranking. Again, the final score is Purdue 41 and Notre Dame 16. Don't forget, we'll be back here in South Bend, Indiana at Notre Dame Stadium next Saturday as the Fighting Irish will host Stanford. So for Pat Hayden and Lewis Johnson, this is Tom Hammond saying so long from Notre Dame Stadium. The Boilermakers made all the big plays today in the win over Brady Quinn and the Irish. You've been watching Notre Dame football on NBC.